What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in. I'm Wyatt Bagnall.
Taylor Wallerstein.
And today we have a whole bunch of fun stuff for you. Everything from Jalen Ramsey to a lot of baseball,
Absolutely.
a lot of fighting, and a legend was born in the Big Apple.
I'm so excited.
We don't need to elaborate more. I think you all know who we're talking about. And to finish off today, we are going to be doing a division dissection, basically, of the Nfc West. Everybody always starts in the AFC, so we figured we'd flip conferences and flip coasts. So,
I like it.
All right, so we're going to start off today with Jalen Ramsey. So anybody who doesn't know, Jalen Ramsey came out. He put out a tweet basically comparing like the start of his career, and then saying what other cornerback has ever started his career like Jalen has. So
Talked about himself in the third person.
no, thank God. But so today we're going to talk about, would we rather have Jalen Ramsey or six guys from sort of the past or modern? So the way we classified modern and past is basically, if you're in the past, your prime was in the 90s or up to like 2010, basically. And a modern dude, most of your prime was in 2010 to now. So
I think that's fair.
Yep. So that's how we classified it. I didn't want to go too far past the 90s because at some point football was just really different.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole conversation of Troy Aikman's stats in the Hall of Fame compared to now.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue to go back to the 80s and all that, but we had to draw the line somewhere. So
yeah, I think the 90s is like a good spot to do it. That's when passing football really became its
exactly
thing, where the league made a change.
So we're gonna actually. Do you want to start off with the past guys or the modern guys?
Let's go with the modern guys. See how he fares in today's.
Okay.
Crowd. Yeah, let's see how he fares in today's crowd, and then we'll compare him to
Cool.
the guys who came before.
Right. So, is Jalen Ramsey to you better than Jair Alexander?
Man, that's tough. I'm a big Jair fan, to be completely honest with you. I think I'd take Ramsey, proven in big games.
I think this is by a hair.
I think it's by a hair. I think either way, you have a great lockdown corner that you don't have to worry about. Half the field's covered.
Yeah. I don't know that I consider either. I don't think the league has a lockdown corner right now. Like, I think
True.
Here's the thing. Jalen Ramsey might be in the league like the best in the league right now, but I still am just like. My other thing is Jair missed this basically a lot of this year, so a little recency bias makes Jalen better. I'll take Jalen, but this is not like a slam dunk pick.
Yeah, no, I think you got a case for either one, and to be honest, as an Alexander guy, like I genuinely would pick him, but I gotta go with Ramsey on this one.
Fair enough. Tre'Davious White.
Tre'Davious White.
Really?
I think I'd prefer.
That was way more definitive.
I
thought you were gonna think about it.
No, I'm a big Trey White fan, even more so than I am a Jair fan.
Okay.
Go Bills. 100%. I think he reminds me a lot of what Stephon Gilmore ended up becoming. I think because we look back
Golden
on
Buffalo, baby, at one point.
Exactly. So I genuinely, I think he's top 5 corner in the league. Trey
yeah.
Well, all right, easy. But I would put him in top 3 conversation, and I'd say he even has a chance of being 2 or 1. Like, I genuinely am that high on him.
Okay.
Stud.
I'll take Jalen just because. Again, I really think that all the top guys in the league are really, really close.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't
There's
really.
a proven pedigree.
Like that's really the only thing for me where I like Tre'Davious White a lot, and I think if I was starting a team, I'd probably rather have him than Jalen, just because I think that
he's a good.
I just like the guy better.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
I don't have to deal with Trey White being an asshole.
yeah, like I just like the dude, but I think as a player, I'll give the ever so slight edge to Jalen Ramsey.
Sure.
Again,
Splitting hairs here.
And again,
yeah.
Thank you for bringing this guy up. Next up's Gilly, Stephon Gilmore.
Now Gilly or Prime Gilly?
Prime Gilly, prime with all these guys. Because Ramsey's in his prime right now.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. I kind of want to pick Gilly. I like Gilly.
I'm taking him too.
The depoy speaks volumes.
Yep.
That is huge. Because not only is it just getting picks, it's being a well-rounded, great defensive keystone piece.
Agreed. The Defensive Player of the Year thing is huge.
How many corners do that?
Very, very few.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm going Gilmore also.
I gotta go Gilmore.
All right, Patrick Peterson.
Oh, man.
I'm taking Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, I'm taking Patrick Peterson.
I don't think Jalen Ramsey squares up with Megatron and fares that well.
No, dude, Pat Pete was someone completely different. Like he was an animal.
Yep.
Absolute stud. Man, dude was physical. Dude was big.
Yep. Athletic freak, returner, all that stuff.
Oh man, some of his returns are some of his most electric plays.
Yep.
Dude could.
And
oh my god.
He did that. He was a true traveling corner of whoever your number one guy was. It was just that's your dude this week, Pat. Go for it.
And that's all you're looking for. And I think you're not even getting that with Ramsey.
No, they put him in the slot a lot because they want to be able to help with run defense more and stuff like that. So even all the people that are like, well, this guy does this, that, or the other. It's like it's not like Ramsey follows the top dude.
Yeah.
It's like he's
very good at what he does.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah,
obviously, all these dudes are very good.
And
schemes are different for everybody. But no, Ramsey doesn't travel as much as people think he does.
Yeah, I think it's getting kind of buried. A lot of his issues are getting a little bit covered up.
Well, here's another one that everybody loves to lobby the whole he didn't travel thing at. Ramsey or Sherman. I'm taking Sherm, dude. For what Sherman did, he was better at it than what Ramsey does.
Yeah, I think I gotta go Sherm too. That's I hate it. I hate to give him any credit.
Me too. Trust me.
Fair.
Because Prime Sherman was my worst nightmare.
And that's the thing though, is that Prime Sherman was everybody's worst fucking nightmare.
And that's the difference. Dude, that's the difference. When Ramsey is really good and all that type of stuff, but whenever you threw the ball at Richard Sherman, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is not what we wanted. And Ramsey, it's like, listen, he's perfectly fine, but Tampa Bay threw a bomb on him.
Tampa Bay
in the playoffs. If Aaron Donald didn't get into Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase had cooked him for a game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. That didn't happen with Prime Sherman.
Oh God.
Listen, Aaron Donald. I can talk all day about losing Super Bowls too.
Oh God, that still hurts. I see it every
I know,
day.
but
I wake up, I close my eyes and I see that picture
There's
on
99.
Twitter of fucking Joe Burrow being fucking obliterated and Jamar Chase.
Still got really close to actually completing that ball.
And no, good for him. He's so. That's my quarterback, man.
Aaron Donald won that game, but Jalen Ramsey almost lost it.
Yep.
And Sherman never really had those, especially in big moments. Prime Sherman, if you threw it deep, it was a pick.
Yeah, he'd go up and get that ball.
Yeah,
he was an animal.
Yeah,
I think Jalen Ramsey. Again, no disrespect, and he's perfectly
serviceable. A little bit of disrespect
because he kind of invites it, but
yeah,
100%. I think, man, I remember being younger and playing Madden, and I did not throw to his side of the field. I looked for 25 every single time, and I was like, no, I'm not throwing to him.
And then number one of the modern era, here's the last dude of the modern era, Revis.
Oh, Revis.
Yeah, Revis.
Oh,
right?
No,
yeah.
Revis. Yeah. Nah, Revis.
That was locked down to a different type of level.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, Revis Island.
Yeah. It was the only island NFL players didn't want to go.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it's not the island you wanted to spend some time during.
Yeah, no. He was truly locked down. He didn't get as many interceptions or anything like that, but you were not going to catch it.
He was always reliable.
Yeah, that was the dude you didn't target.
Yeah, no, you knew I'm not throwing the ball near him.
Yeah. So, for the modern era, I've got him 5th.
I guess I have him... I got Trey...
So you got him 6th.
Do I have him the 6th?
Yeah, you have him 6th of the modern era.
No, I got him above Jair.
Yeah.
By a hair.
Yeah, he's 7th.
Oh, really?
You got Jair 7th. So you go Jair, Jalen, Trey White, Gilly, Peterson, Sherman, Revis.
I guess I'm just not a Jalen guy.
No, me neither. I only gave him the slight edge over Tre'Davious White for just more. I've seen him more times.
Sure.
But that's not much.
No, I think that's how for him to be talking the way that he is right now, any one of these guys could have been him and gotten a ring on the Rams.
Yeah. I see. That's the thing. Also, I don't think he's so good that you couldn't replace him with somebody else.
I don't think he stays on the Rams for much longer. I don't think they make him a franchise corner.
They extended him recently, so he'll be there a little bit.
Well, I mean, I don't.
But
all right. Well, then
now going into the past guys. So basically, these are the guys that their prime was the 90s through 2010, right?
Yep.
So first up, Rondae Barber, staple of the Bucks for a long time. Big part of that Tampa 2 defense. So a lot of people probably lobbied that zone thing at him. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Most teams play zones.
Unless you're Tom Brady, you're not dicing up zone the way that some of these legends have done. I mean,
listen, it's like zone is like generally more effective because odds are you can't match up with everybody in the secondary, so playing a zone makes it less of a man game.
Exactly, and especially with the offenses that we have
I
in the league these days.
I will take Jalen Ramsey, but this is ever so slight.
I will take Ramsey too. No disrespect to Tampa 2, but I genuinely not to be the same guy we just mocked of throw it in his face or anything like that. I would rather have Jalen Ramsey, especially if we're talking about right now in the modern day game, how football's played right now.
I'll still take.
I think I gotta go Jalen.
Go for it. That's fine. Again, this is I don't even like doing that, but they're similar, and Jalen's a freak athlete. So.
Yeah.
All right.
We do have some crazy athletes in the
next
league.
up, I got Nandi Asamoah. I'm taking Nandi Asamoah because this is one of the only guys that, at his peak, people asked the question, was he better than Darrelle Revis? The only difference is he played mostly as a right corner rather than a left corner.
Sure.
So, again, these are all just little details everyone likes to point at.
Nitpicking.
But, yeah, Nandi Asamoah mostly played right corner. Doesn't matter to me. For the guys he played against, he locked them up when he was with the Raiders.
Yeah, I'll give it to Nandi,
so,
too.
I'll take him because I don't think we've ever asked the question, could Jalen Ramsey stack up to Darrelle Revis?
Yeah, no, I mean, well, technically we just did, and we got our answer.
Yeah, exactly. The difference was there was an actual question.
There was for
a few years of how big is the gap between Asamoah and Revis? Next up, Champ Bailey. Champ squad.
Champ since day one.
Yep, easy.
Easy peasy.
Layup. Rob Woodson. I'm taking Rob Woodson again.
I gotta go.
Long-time Steelers corner.
Steel curtain.
Yep. Not quite that era. But he played an era where the Steelers defense was certainly formidable.
Very reminiscent of that steel curtain. Excuse me.
Great corner. Ended up switching to safety later. Played great there too. Charles Woodson. Layup. Yeah. Charles Woodson.
Woodson was unstoppable.
Yep. Another defensive player of the year.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that just speaks fucking volumes.
Yep.
It's just. I mean, you have to do so much to be a defensive player of the year,
especially at corner.
Yeah, especially
you gotta be locked down,
non-stop,
or crazy amount of interceptions.
Yeah,
like if Trayvon Diggs wasn't giving up as many touchdowns and bombs as he was getting picks, he might have won it. But
maybe, yeah, I think with how many picks he was able to pull in,
there wasn't a super clear defensive player of the year this year. T.J. Watt had an incredible year and all that, but he also missed games.
I think that just speaks more to how great T.J. Watt
was
missing games and tying the
record. Tying sack record.
Yeah, that is.
And then last one, best corner ever, Dion.
Yeah, it's
Dion. So I've got of the past guys, I've got him sixth. Yeah. So in total, I have him 12th of the last 20 years, basically 30 years, really.
I got him 6th. And then I got him 7th, basically. No, I got him 6th again. So I got him
13th.
Yeah, 13th.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one spot behind on yours. So,
yeah.
Needless to say,
that's easier math to do.
There's a lot of guys who
I'd rather have.
Listen, Jalen Ramsey, you might have a lot of accolades to start your career. A large part of that is
good on you for getting out of Jacksonville. Good on you.
Good on you for getting out of Jacksonville.
You should be grateful.
A big part of I think a big part of him getting all the Pro Bowls and all pros and stuff, there's frankly not that many other formidable corners in the league.
Yeah.
So sort of by default, he'll find himself in there, if by nothing else but reputation.
We'll have to see what Stingley and Sauce can do this year.
I don't think either of them are going to look good this year.
I think Stingley is in a really shitty spot.
They both are. And corner's a notoriously tough position to transition.
Oh, 100%. However, I like Breece Hall over for the Jets.
Jets, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty solid corner over there. So I think
Breece Hall's a running back.
Who am I thinking of?
Sauce Gardner?
No, I know Sauce. Breece Hall is the running back. I just drafted him in my fantasy.
Yeah.
Or in my Madden.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of? Is it Bryce Hall? I think it's
that
Bryce
sounds
Hall.
right. Yeah.
I think it might be Bryce Hall.
Yeah.
Hey, forgive me.
Bryce
Jets
Hall,
fans.
Breece Hall.
Yeah, Jets fans again. Forgive
What's
me.
with him and disrespecting the Jets?
I have been nothing of the sort. I have been nothing but Zach Wilson's #1 fan before this.
As you're about to see.
As
yeah, no,
But I guess it's Bryce Hall.
Yeah.
Or it's someone else who I'm completely ruining his name on. And forgive me when you eventually see this and call me uneducated. But I think Sauce has a better chance. I think it's obviously the Jets, and I don't think the Jets are a playoff team this year. But I'm big on the Jets, and this was before the whole legend.
Dude, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Sauce and Stingley. I think of all the corners, the one that's probably going to look the best is the one that Buffalo drafted because
Who'd they take? Why am I drawing a blank on him?
it was
Booth?
No, he had a really interesting name.
All right, I'm looking it up.
But look it up. But
Keep talking.
here's the whole reason I think he'll do the best out of all of them.
Trey White.
Oh, it was Kyer Elam.
Yes, I wanted it.
Yeah.
Man, I wanted the Bengals to get him.
Yeah, it was Kyer Elam. I think he'll do the best because he gets to be number 2. Tre'Davious White's clearly number 1. He's got Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer playing behind him.
Yep.
So he can make some mistakes and get covered up by his safeties. So that's great.
Yep.
Sauce and Stingley are going to be asked to be number 1s on teams that have basically nothing else. For example, Sauce is going to have to, as the number 1, when he plays Miami, he has to play either Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. Neither of those are going to go well for him.
Either is tough.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I do think they could go well because Tua can't throw that far.
I think that they'll still just run away from him. Like, I don't think that he will do well running into Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill. He'll probably be just fine running into, like, Devontae Parker in New England.
True.
But he is going to have a real bitch of a time with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's just his division.
And that's just his division.
Stingley's got an easier division in
That's
that A.J. Brown's gone. Colts don't really have a number 1. Jacksonville's Jacksonville, and the Texans have Brandon Cooks. So, like that, like he gets to practice against the best receiver in that division probably. But that's still an awful Texans team. He has to be number 1 right away. That never goes well, really.
Can we do a quick tangent?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the best wide receiver in the AFC South?
Brandon Cooks.
Because we got Brandon Cooks.
Michael Pittman's in Indy.
I love Pittman.
Yeah, but he ain't Cooks.
No, he's not Cooks yet.
Tennessee.
They just lost A.J. Brown.
Yep. It's probably Treylon Burks or Robert Woods. Robert Woods is a solid 2, but I would not want him as number 1. So I don't know. I'll say Robert Woods because he's in the vet. Jacksonville. I don't know. I guess it's Christian Kirk.
Could argue. I thought we were missing someone. I genuinely was like, who's the best wide receiver in the AFC South? No way it's goddamn Brandon Cooks.
No, the AFC South is far and away the weakest division in the AFC.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's
Brandon
Cooks.
Cooks.
It's Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks has been underrated forever, but wasting away in Houston.
I love the guy, and I do think absolutely he's been wasted. I very clearly just didn't work in New England.
I feel so. You want to know what the pain in the ass of that is? So he plays in New England. They lose to Philly in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Gets traded to the Rams. They go to the Super Bowl. Lose to New England.
Oh,
brutal!
Right, that's right. He went to the Rams and now he's with the Texans. Did he get traded to the Texans?
Yeah,
or he signed with them.
He got traded, I think. He's been traded a bunch. Like, cause he's a legit number 1.
He's a legit number 1.
Like,
he doesn't get in trouble.
He's 1,000 yards guaranteed, but he's not this dominant number 1. So he's a really good trade asset if you ever need things. So he's
a guy you can move on from.
Yeah, so he's been traded a bunch. It's the same reason he got traded to New England from New Orleans, and he's been moved around a whole lot, but he's just been so productive. But yeah, he's the best in the AFC South.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I genuinely needed to look at the wide receivers for a second there because I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, he's not. But yeah, he is.
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah, the AFC South is not great.
No, not at all.
So, yeah, Jalen, we got you outside the top 10 for the last 30 years, much less when you bring everybody else into it. So, I am not on your team on this one, buddy.
Clearly me neither. I thought I would be, actually, to be completely honest with you. Sorry, Jalen.
I didn't, and I'm not sorry. So, take that. So, moving on from that, we are going into baseball now.
Yes.
And I wonder which one of us is the baseball fan.
Definitely the guy in the beanie.
Yeah, exactly. That's me.
We last time we talked a little bit about the standings. I realized how uneducated I was, so I went and took a look, especially now that we're a week later. Kind of breaking that down very quickly for us. We have the AL East has the Yankees at the top, 62 and 26. Just I hate to say it, but they've been looking like the best team in baseball. Aaron Judge is knocking 31 homers right now or something like that, which is way up there. So.
I wonder if you're like me in that you just generally root against New York sports. I think for me, part of it is everyone brings up, like, you either like New York or you like L.A. And it's like, well, I like West Coast way more than East Coast, so that's...
I don't think they'd like me at all over there.
No.
And granted, I don't think I'd fucking like them either, but I have a fraternity brother who's from New York, and he's absolutely awesome, and he's a huge Bills fan, and I love the Bills just because I've been following Josh Allen, and my friends are huge Bills fans.
Of all the New York football teams, that's the one.
That's the one. I think, and honest to God, I actually just started a Madden franchise with my friend where I'm running as the Jets. So I am very excited to be taking Zach Wilson to the promised land. Phrasing. But I...
Careful before he takes your mom there.
Yeah, clearly,
Continue.
Clearly, I'm
Continue with your baseball now. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. But I'm with you. I think everybody who isn't a Yankees fan is rooting against the Yankees, and we'd hate to see them do well. AL Central, believe it or not, the Twins are currently leading that division. It is a very close race.
Is it Minnesota or something?
Yeah, it's Minnesota.
Okay, I had no idea.
You're good. They are 49 and 41 right now, but I think they've got a couple. They got the Blue Jays behind them. They got, believe it or not, Orioles. And
Baltimore, show up, home of Hannibal Lecter, my guys.
It is. We'll get there when I talk wild card, but it is that the AL Central is definitely the weakest in the American League. It is definitely looking like the AL East and the AL West are kind of locked up. Speaking of the AL West, it's the Astros right now, 57 and 30. So it is literally Astros and Yankees, the two teams everybody hates the most right now, totally crushing in the American League, and the Twins are just doing kind of what they can right now.
Good for the Twins, man.
Good for the Twins. They're winning their division right now, so good for you guys. Hopefully it stays. I don't know. But looking at our wild card guys, we got a couple. Right now, Tampa is at 48 and 40, and they're in the AL East as well with the Yanks. So they're fighting for a wild card spot basically. We'll have to see. They do not look like the team that we saw in the World Series a couple years ago, but you never know. And then we've got the Blue Jays that are at 47 and 42, tied with Seattle right now, 47 and 42 record. Both of them are tied for the last spot in the, three teams are tied at 47 and 42 for the last spot in the wild card position. Is the Boston Red Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Seattle Mariners. So Mariners have been on a 12-2 run lately.
I'm choosing to root for Boston, mostly because I don't like Seattle anything, and
it's fair.
You won't catch me dead rooting for Canada.
Fuck that. Not in America. Not in America's pastime.
Listen, damn it. You guys are way too friendly up there. I know you're hiding some shit, so you won't get me rooting for your sports teams. Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, so hell
Thumbs
no.
up. Not
Let's go Boston.
Yeah, let's go America.
Yes.
For America's pastime.
Yes, exactly.
But I will say Seattle's on a 12-2 run after the Angels brawl that we all saw on Twitter and everything like that. Crazy, huge fight. They've been on a crazy run. Orioles themselves have been on a crazy run. I don't know exactly how much it is, but right now they're at 45 and 44. To me, they're kind of the meme team. I don't know if this is any real kind of potential to potentially eke out a wild card spot. However, it's like this is the Bengals kind of team that I would say that like the Orioles have been bad since I remember. For them to even be over 500 at this point in time right now while we're recording this video, I had to bring it up. So
yeah,
much love to them. Hope they do well. I love a terrible sports team just enjoying being a terrible sports team but winning games and kicking ass. So
it's like the Lions.
Exactly. I want to root for the Lions because they're underdogs, man. It's tough for them. But moving on to the National League, it's where we got my boys. The Dodgers are currently leading the National League West with a 57 and 30 record. The NL goes through LA as it always does. That is a common thing, but we also have the NL Central has the Brewers at 49-40, with the wild card Cardinals right behind them at 48-43. So we've got the NL Central a little bit tighter. In general, the NL itself, throughout the board, a little bit more tighter. It could be anyone's race, I kind of feel like, especially now that we're getting to the All-Star break, midway season. We have a lot... AL kind of has it all figured out at this point. Who's going to be the division winners, with the exception of the Twins. We'll have to see if they're able to hold that one together. But with the NL, I mean, honestly, really could go anyway. The NL East right now has the Mets at 55-34. Believe it or not, the Mets, like another team that I was sitting here and saying, genuinely one of those not a poverty franchise because it's New York and they have money, but
the B team.
Yeah, the B team of the Yankees.
They're the Angels of New York.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like no one talks about the Mets, and every time it's about the Mets, it's the goddamn Mets, because it's never anything good.
These are people that root for the Jets. They root for the Nets.
Oof,
like
imagine.
it's like in LA, if you root for the Angels, you root for the Clippers. Yeah,
I hate
can't
those people.
do it.
I hate those people. You guys are from Anaheim. Stay there. That being said, the wild card for the NL, like I said, a little bit closer. NL East, the Braves are at 53-37, so they're only a couple games behind. Defending champs. They've been on some crazy runs. I would not be surprised to see them not in the big dance, but in
Boo
playoffs.
Braves.
Yes, boo Braves. And then we've also got, like I said, the Cardinals, 48-43. The Padres right now, I hate to admit it, are at 50-41. I would love to shit on you guys right now, but, I mean, I can't, because you guys are terrible and you're below us, so it's totally fine. I don't think the Padres are for real, to be completely honest with you.
I need to tell you a little secret here.
Okay.
Ever since I found out you don't like the Padres and the Giants, I'm like growing in love for them.
Such a loser.
Like whenever I hear that stuff, I'm like, God damn, I really want to be that guy, and I think I'm going to be.
So annoying.
Definitely, the Giants are easy for me to take on. I already like the Bay Area teams in general, so that's like really easy for me to just scoop up.
Sure.
Padres a little tougher, especially because that's on it. Listen, guys, it's a lame mascot too.
It's a lame mascot, when they call you the Friars, I'm like, oh my god, I forgot it's based off monks. And
yeah,
shit.
exactly. They got that ugly haircut with like the bald top.
When I think of Padre, I think of a fucking bird. Like, let alone now. And then when I hear that, for the swinging Friars, and I'm like,
whenever I look at them, I think of like Nacho Libre.
Yeah, and they have gross jerseys, dude. The brown and yellow, like. Disgusting.
Great,
the Padres, disgusting.
It's not great. I'm trying to warm up to you guys because I want to just root against him. The problem is I don't hate the Dodgers either. So
that's fair. Speaking of your San Fran Giants, though, 45-42, potential wild card themselves. We will have to see how that one all goes, but I don't think they'll be playing the Dodgers again.
You better hope not.
Nor will they be fucking winning the division again. Fuck that. And then finally we have Philadelphia
I'm getting
at 46.
A Giants jersey.
Oh yeah. And then finally we have Philly at 46-43. However, Bryce Harper is pretty. From what I saw, he's got a recent injury. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's on his hand. I think it's season ending. From what I saw.
Not ideal.
Not ideal.
There's not that many.
A great year.
There's not that many people in baseball that the public would really know, and that's one of them.
And that's one of them. So, yeah, it's definitely... Losing out on Bryce Harper is bad for baseball. I'm a huge Bryce Harper guy, and I am devastated. But hopefully, we'll see him again. But
so, is that all the team rankings?
That is all of our...
the breakdowns?
That is all our division standings.
So then I will ask you this.
Okay.
Power rank them real quick. Like, all like the people that you think are viable...
To go...
Yeah, like legitimately viable. Where would you put them? How many teams are we doing? How many totals are we
I'll do... So there's 6 from each, and then I'll do 10.
Okay.
I'll do a 10-ish.
Cool. Give me your top 10.
So,
what you got?
Number 1, Dodgers. I think, no bias, but we've had injuries we've had to deal with. I mean, we're having pitching issues. We're losing guys. Like, it genuinely...
No catching issues, though.
What the hell? We're having a whole lot of shit go on. Jokes aside. But absolutely, I think the Dodgers, for the situation that they've been in, having to play, losing a lot of guys. At one point, Mookie was even out, and it was literally just Freddie Freeman holding it down for us, and Trey Turner. We are a team that can absolutely, when we're injured, we can play ball and play it with some of the best because it's LA. Second, I'll give it the Yanks. They have definitely been tough to watch, and not in a bad way, in a oh shit kind of way. Because everyone's saying it's really
that still sounds bad.
Fair. In a oh shit I don't want to play them the kind of way. You know what I mean? They have been absolutely just monstrous. Like I said, 62-26, first team to 60 still. Aaron Judge has looked unstoppable. I mean, there's a couple of those guys on that team who are absolutely, like DJ LeMahieu is looking good. It's Yankees. So they're either going to be terrible and get completely roasted into the ground because they are, or they're going to be really good and everyone's going to hate it because they're really good.
I wonder which one you hope for.
We'll see. To give the third spot, I got to go Astros. I think they've kind of, and I've got a friend who's an Astros fan who would be over the moon hearing me give them any credit, so we're going to keep this very brief. I think they've proven that they are a solid baseball team.
Okay.
They just can't win a ring without cheating. So we'll have to see if they can finally pull it off without cheating. But, prove me wrong. But right now you're just a bunch of fucking cheaters who stole a ring from me and played Kershaw. So.
Or don't prove him wrong.
Or
don't win.
Or don't prove me wrong.
Even better, I would say.
Don't prove me wrong. Don't win. Suck. And I'll love it. So...
Fortunately, I have no such malice for any teams out there. None, never.
Yeah, very clearly. You're a very welcoming guy.
Yeah.
4, I'm going to give it to the Braves, to be completely honest with you. I think they're a better team than they're letting on right now. Ronald Acuna is not really having the year that everyone hoped he would, but I mean, he's coming off of a season-ending injury from last year, so yeah. I don't really hold it against him. The fact that Austin Riley is doing what he's doing, and we'll talk about Austin Riley coming up, some of these Dansby Swanson, some of these other guys on the Braves roster are able to pick him up when he's down. Genuinely, I think they're a better team than 53-37. I think by the time it's all said and done, this season's over. I think the Mets are great. I don't know if they hold off the Braves for very much longer. The Mets kind of give me a feeling of falling off halfway through the season, kind of thing of great start. Working on something great, but yeah. I don't believe it just yet.
The Braves are hustling everybody, dude. They're lulling you all to sleep.
I think they've had like 3 10-game win stretches, something like that, where they've just been unstoppable. So I think it's genuinely they're just inconsistent.
Hey, Atlanta, chill out. How about you be like? How about you be like the rest of your teams in that city and just do nothing?
But hey, Acuna not having the greatest season in the world, he still found a way to be an all-star starter. So what the fuck do I know? 5. I'll go Mets. I'll go Mets with 5. I don't think they're far off. Like I said, I do think they fall off this season and kind of maybe they're a wild card team or something like that. But 100%, I think the Braves are a better team than them. So that's really why I put them there. Don't get me wrong, Mets have been doing well. Max Scherzer over there is coming off injury, has looked like Mad Max all over again. And you got... I mean, my issue is I want to root for the Mets. I genuinely do. I would love to see 2 New York teams battle it out and kind of, keep each other in check. But I love Pete Alonso, too. Like, oh, man, I really do want to root for the Mets.
Do you want to see 2 LA teams battle it off and keep each other in check?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you see, I can say that about them because they're over there.
They're way over there. Yeah, you don't want to see Shohei.
Well, granted, I'd love to see Shohei because that means we got 7 other players on that roster that we're going to just bully with our pitching and absolutely destroy. But whatever. See, Shohei is the motherfucker who ruined Tyler Anderson's no-hitter in the 9th inning. It was against the Angels. Has a no-hitter through 123 pitches, throws one to Shohei, motherfucker just knocks a double.
Way to go, Shohei.
And it's like,
proud of you, buddy.
Of all people, I knew it was either going to be Shohei or Trout who was going to stop us.
There you go.
I mean, Angels are looking fucking awful, though. So, I mean, I never have to worry about them. Plus, again, you have 2 players, and that's about it. I'd say... That was 5th, 6th. I go Padres for 6th. I don't want to give them too much credit. They're 5 spots behind the best team in baseball, and they're not going to beat us out anytime soon. But Tatis is looking great. Machado was looking good before he got injured, I believe. Maybe he's back. I don't keep up with you guys. You might find this shocking, but I don't give a shit about you, San Diego. So the state is great. So
city.
Well, the state's great, California, excuse me. But yeah, San Diego is a wonderful city. You guys just have some shitty ass sports teams, and I find it impossible to root for them.
It's the best city in California, dude.
Oh, well, a little biased, but
not even.
No, I'm biased. I'm gonna absolutely pick a shitty one over San Diego, 100% because I was born there. But yeah, we'll have to see. I think the Padres are looking pretty solid for being a basement-dwelling team recently, so we'll have to see what they do. But the Padres love to have a great start to the season and completely fall apart in the second half, so excited to see that. I'd say 6th. I think I'll go with... I like Tampa. I like Tampa over the Twins. I think they're not that far removed from being a playoff contender and almost a World Series winner. Genuinely, I can't name a guy on their freaking roster right now, though. That's the issue. Is I can't think of a single stud on that roster who is just raking right now. And maybe I'm the idiot and I'm completely missing something, but...
In fact, I'd be willing to bet on it.
I'm sure you would. Be betting the mortgage, but...
Exactly.
Finally, that was 7. So 8, I got the Twins, division leader right now, but again, it is so close in that division, 49 and 41 compared to a couple of these other teams. It's doable, but it's vulnerable, is what I'm thinking. And I also I'll put the Brewers and the Cardinals right there at 9 and 10. I think they're absolutely kind of in the same spot of, I need to see the Brewers either step up and prove that they're the guys who are going to take over the NL Central, or I need to see the Cardinals fucking just do it already. So that's kind of where we're at right now in our standings. The NL way tighter. We got a lot more teams battling it out for division supremacy as well as the wild card. The wild card's a little bit tighter as well, just because those teams are all kind of in the same area. And then for the AL, it's literally just the Yankees and Astros and everybody else. So put your money down right now on the Yankees, and you can not blame me when you lose all that money when the Dodgers win it all.
There you have it. There it is.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the All-Star game coming up.
Please do.
If you don't mind.
In fact, I beg of you.
Okay, absolutely. If you insist. So we have, really quickly, I got right here on my phone, who's in the All-Star game. We got Jock Peterson, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Mookie Betts all starting in the outfield. Got Trey Turner at shortstop. We got Manny Machado. Like I said, he's over at third base, so I guess he must be fine from the injury. Jazz Chisholm Jr. Over from the Mariners. He's been lightning rod for them.
I'm telling you right now, I don't like you, dude.
You don't like Jazz?
I don't like anybody in Seattle.
Fair enough.
Hell no, Seattle sports and I don't get along.
Fair enough. Not the Mariners, the Marlins. So it's Miami.
Never mind.
I'm the idiot.
In fact, I'm a big fan. Yeah. I love Miami. Never mind.
I believe he's a second baseman over for Miami. So, and then Paul Goldschmidt, first baseman.
You got me picking fights with teams I like now.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
And then Paul Goldschmidt over at first base. You got Wilson Contreras as the catcher and designated hitter Bryce Harper. So I guess
checks out.
Maybe I'm completely wrong and Bryce Harper's going to be back, but if I was Bryce Harper and injured and just coming back, I wouldn't waste it on the All-Star game.
No.
Yeah, but
it's like going to the All-Star game in the NBA. No reason to do it.
Now I'm gonna have to. This is a great chance for me to go back and go find out what the hell's wrong with this guy, so I can either say he's done.
If he doesn't go there, who do you think should go?
Personal bias, Freddie Freeman. I got a couple snubs coming up where we'll talk about guys who could replace him, but personal bias, I think it's got to be Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
Especially because it's in LA. Give us you already have 2 Dodgers starting. Like that's how solid we are. You've got Clayton Kershaw.
It's in L.A. Don't give it to anybody else in L.A.
Well, like I said.
They get enough.
Speaking about pitching really quickly, a couple of the guys I want to mention are Max Fried over from Atlanta, great pitcher. Luis Castillo, killing it for the Reds. Only bright spot I've really seen from that team other than a couple fun wins when you guys honestly look terrible. Joey Votto was awesome. We got to love Joey. So excited to see that one. Corbin Burns over from the Brewers. He's a great pitcher himself. I think he just won the Cy Young last year, which is the pitching award. So I think not a surprise to see him balling the way that he is again, as much as I hate to admit it, because I have a weird rivalry with the Brewers, specifically just because of the Yelly or Belly.
Yelly Belly.
we had the Yelly Belly MVP race where I got a little bit of a friendly rivalry.
Why you Yelly Belly?
We had two great players, Christian Yelich and Cody Bellinger, fighting for MVP, and then unfortunately.
Oh, is that how they got the name?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then unfortunately, Yelich ended up getting injured, which just absolutely sucked because I think he was on track. He probably would have ended up winning it, to be completely honest, because he was balling that well. But that's a little bit about the Brewers. A couple reserves that are interesting to mention for the NL are going to be Albert Pujols, Nolan Arenado, Pete Alonso, CJ Cron, Dansby Swanson, Juan Soto. Just classic guys who can't be starters because not everyone can fucking start. But absolutely, we got some great guys who are going to be. Some of these guys are already in the home run derby. Got a couple of great guys for the NL for sure. I think it's interesting. I don't know if this is confirmed yet, but I'm hoping that Clayton Kershaw is going to get the start in Dodger Stadium for the All-Star game since he made it. That is awesome to me.
Way to go, Clayton. You some.
Love you, buddy. Love you, buddy. I got your shirt on right now, dude. You are my fucking guy. Go fucking tear it up, dude. He's been awesome this year. Good to see him back, especially because there was a lot of fear that we weren't going to see him.
You're totally my guy, too.
Look at that. Look at that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Talking a little bit more about the American League, we got Giancarlo Stanton from New York, obviously. Mike Trout over in the outfield, and Aaron Judge, another New Yorker. So it's basically New York and Mike Trout. You got Tim Anderson over at shortstop from the White Sox. You got Jose Altuve, dickhead from the fucking Astros who helped with cheating. Don't understand why we're all giving him praise, but whatever. You got Vlad Guerrero Jr. over at first base from Toronto. Rafael Devers from Red Sox over at third base. Alejandro Kirk over at catcher. And then designated hitter, Showtime baby, Shohei Ohtani.
Let's go.
He is.
I literally just know the name and I love it.
He is for the second year in a row pitching and batting in the All-Star game. That is insane to me.
You know what that means? Best guy in the league. That's what that means.
There's a case to be made there, but a couple of the All-Star American League pitchers: Shane McClanahan, Nestor Cortez, Framber Valdez, Martin Perez, Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole. And Shohei, obviously. You got a couple of reserves who are interesting to mention. Miguel Cabrera, just, Detroit legend. Xander Bogaerts, George Springer, Byron Buxton. He's going to be, he turned down an invitation to go to the home run derby this year. And Julio Rodriguez, who will be in the home run derby this year.
Nice.
So those are our starters. Thank you for bearing with me on that one. Now I'd like to talk about a little bit more fun topic, which is the All-Star snubs.
Yeah. Who didn't get in?
Who is it? And how can I get very passionate and angry about it? So we're
I'm sure you'll get there. You'll power through.
We will start with the American League. Ty France for the Mariners, so you can hate this guy.
Ty.
He's a first baseman. He got a wrist injury, but he just came back. He slashed.
I wonder how he got that.
Well, there's not much to do over in Seattle.
No.
He's got a 306 batting average. He's got 15 doubles, 10 homers, 45 ribbies, all in 74 games. So I think...
I'm telling you now, he's not a snub.
Not a snub?
No. For a very simple reason.
I'm going to ask you at the end of all of these, snub or not. I know you have no...
Let's do it.
Previous knowledge about...
And yet I'm going to be 100% right.
But yes, I want to hear what you have to say to this. So
just tell me what teams...
You say not a snub.
No, not a snub.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Okay. Justifiably left out.
Okay. Second, we got Anthony Rizzo from the Yankees.
Tell me a little bit about him.
He's got 22 homers.
Okay.
54 ribbies.
Okay.
Low batting average, but he's an offensive force on that team. He's part of the reason that they're at where they're at.
Then it's a snub.
Called a snub?
Yep, that's a
Anthony
snub.
Rizzo, you got snubbed.
You're a snub.
You got snubbed.
You got snubbed, buddy.
You can be validated by two guys in a basement. You got snubbed.
Exactly.
Hang in there, pal. All right, and then last I'd like to bring up Trevor Story, former Rockies guy. A lot of people said he couldn't hit home runs in a place that wasn't Coors Field. Well, he is currently batting with he has 46 scores, 15 home runs, and 10 stolen bases. So he has been an absolute monster.
Where's he at now?
He's with the Red Sox.
Snub.
You got snubbed, Trevor Story. Two guys, basement, telling you got snubbed. Go talk to the manager. All right, moving on to the National League. We got Josh Bell over, believe it or not, for the Nats, for the Nationals. 19 doubles, two triples, 12 homers, 47 ribbies, and 44 runs scored.
Sounds like a snub. I'm going with it.
He's going with it.
He's snubbed.
You got snubbed, Josh Bell.
Yeah.
That is, I agree with that one. I like Josh. But I think something that we're about to see with the next guy, Freddie Freeman, is that we had a little bit of a surplus of first.
Telling you now, not a snub.
Freddie Freeman, not a snub, apparently.
That's just for you.
I will say you are a snub, Freeman. You
No.
got snubbed.
No, you didn't. You deserve to be sitting at home.
Batting .304,
Bastard.
11 homers, 54 ribbies. Huge part of our offense with Mookie out. Just absolutely raking. I say he got snubbed, but to be completely honest, we have a surplus of first baseman in the NL.
So you're not snubbed, bud.
It's kind of where we've ended up in. Finally, Austin Riley for the Braves. This is who I was talking about a little bit
Not
earlier.
a snub.
Not a snub, apparently. He's got a 282, which is still pretty solid. I'd say, upper twos is up there. 23 home runs and 56 ribbies. Doing great. Biggest snub, I think, of the NL, to be completely honest with you. I do love Freddie Freeman, but I think that's the guy we missed.
Not a snub.
Not a snub. Sorry, Austin.
You heard it here first.
I don't make the rules.
Not a snub. That's damn right I do.
All right, last but not least, because we're going to stop talking about baseball for so much.
No.
I know. This is my favorite part. My segment where I lecture on baseball.
No.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about the fun part of baseball, which is the home runs. We're going to talk home run derby.
We are.
Really quickly, I'll break it down. The bracket is Kyle Schwarber and Albert Pujols at 1 and 8. You got number 4, Juan Soto versus 5, Jose Ramirez. Over in the other bracket, you have two-time back-to-back defending champion at the Home Run Derby, Pete Alonso, number 2 seed, facing off against Ronald Acuna Jr. Like I said, brought him up a little bit earlier. Hasn't been the exact year he's been hoping for, but I'm not worried about him. And the team's looking good. But then finally, we have the 3rd seed, Corey Seager, and the 6th seed, Julio Rodriguez. So I think...
Julio!
Really quickly, without knowing a damn thing at all, who do you think takes it?
Whoever the hell the lowest ranked guy is, I'm rooting for the underdogs.
You're rooting for Albert Pujols.
Who's he play for?
The Cardinals. Cardinals legend.
Sure.
680-something home runs.
You're my guy, dude. I believe in you.
6 this year.
That's my dude. We're set up for success.
Money on Albert Pujols.
That
for sure.
is...
Hammer 8.
I don't think I've ever felt more confident about a pick. No, never. This... I mean, yeah. Slam dunk.
Slam dunk. Albert
Slam
Pujols.
dunk at the home run contest, dude. Here we go.
Put the mortgage on it.
Yeah.
Speaking about Albert Pujols, like I said, he had 6 homers. Kyle Schwarber, who he's up against, has 28 this year. You have Soto with 19 homers. You have Jose Ramirez with 17 homers. Pete's got 23 of himself. Like I said, he's the back-to-back defending champ. He's who I got my money on because who doesn't want the 3-Pete with the guy's name is Pete. Like, you got to do that.
3-Pete, dude, yeah.
Yeah, you got to root for that guy.
Damn it.
You picked the wrong guy.
Okay.
He's got 23 homers and proven winner. Ronald only has 8 homers right now, but again, he's doing well enough, and the team's picking up on his slack. Corey Seager, former Dodger, has 21 home runs, so stoked to see him get some representation.
Not as good as 6.
Not as good as 6. True. And then finally, we have Julio Rodriguez with 15 home runs. A couple of notable guys that were missing from this home run contest are obviously Aaron Judge. Dude is balling, but after 2017 when he won the whole thing, he's already won one of these. He ended up hurting his shoulder, and he's like, I'm not doing this again. And to be honest, he hit us with the been there, done that, and I'm kind of give it to him.
I kind of give it to him, and it's also one of those things where it's like, the Pro Bowl or, again, the NBA All-Star Game, where it's like, when you're a really, really good player, don't do some of the extra stuff, because if you manage to get yourself hurt doing the extra little fun stuff, uh-oh.
So, yeah, I think that he's preserving himself a little bit, wants to make sure that his shoulder is going to be okay. I really don't blame him. The way you hit homers in the home run derby is a lot different than game time, need to hit a home run or, hitting a home run there. So
yeah.
The way that you kind of adjust your swing and everything to purposefully crush slow balls that are meant to be crushed as opposed to how you actually hit a baseball, can kind of fuck up some guys, so I kind of get it in this situation for sure. All-Star game, you got to show up for the All-Star game. Like, if you're there for the All-Star game, especially in baseball, like, just don't go hard in the All-Star game. Like, it's that easy. And then finally, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Vladdy, he had a 2019 showdown with Pete, his first one, where he put up 91 home runs throughout the entire thing. I remember watching it. It was crazy. Pete was just unstoppable, but so was Vladdy, and it was this neck and neck race of home runs until finally Pete was able to hold him off. So
way to go, Pete.
Yeah, way to go, Pete. Excited to see you go for it again, but he's currently coming back from a wrist injury right now, and he doesn't want to kind of fuck it up with the home run derby, so especially when they're tied for the final AL wildcard spot right now.
Okay, fine. Maybe there's bigger fish to fry.
Maybe there is. We will have to see, but I think in Toronto, what are you doing, bro?
Oh.
Like
Canada.
Exactly. I'm with you, but that is going to conclude our baseball segment. We got a couple of fun events coming up with the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby, so I wanted to cover that a little bit more in depth this time around. But I think we're just getting into the good parts of baseball where summer ball happening. Home runs are going to keep coming. We got a whole entire second half of the season, and we got the trade deadline coming up in a couple of weeks or something like that.
There we go.
So we got a good portion of baseball still coming up. Excited to see what happens, and looking forward to a fun weekend of just watching some dudes crush some balls.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's every weekend for him. So moving on from baseball, we're going to basketball. And the offseason is in full tilt for basketball. We still are sort of we're like a bit of a holding pattern with a few things and some big stars, but the pieces are starting to get moved.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton is going to the Pacers on a max deal, leaving the Suns. Not exactly a shocker that he's leaving the Suns, but it's still significant. Former number one pick a few years ago.
They should have taken Luka.
No
shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
Everyone should have taken Luka. The Jazz. A lot of people thought that when they traded Rudy, they were going to look to trade Donovan Mitchell. They vehemently denied it, but now they are taking calls on him. Gotcha. And it seems the two leaders in that clubhouse are the Knicks and the Heat.
Wow.
Now, that gets interesting. If he goes to the Heat probably can't get Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I don't think Kevin Durant's going anywhere. I think the Nets are, A, they're not going to get a good enough package for him, and B, there's no real incentive to do it.
Yeah.
So that's also Summer League has begun.
Okay.
Which, I mean, listen, I don't take much from Summer League.
It's preseason football.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like some of the high draft picks are looking really good.
Yeah, Chet
Holmgren looking really good.
Looking great.
Orlando Paolo, he's looking really good as well.
Yep.
And again, these are not like, don't take a ton from it. Other than, okay,
the young guys,
they're balling out against people they should be balling out against.
Exactly. If they weren't balling out, we'd be having a problem.
Yes,
already.
that would be more alarming. But they look good against dudes that they should look good against.
Yes.
So that's encouraging for OKC and for Orlando.
Absolutely.
But again, all the tension right now really just resides around like these trade pieces.
Yeah, these dominoes.
And it's just a matter of who's the first one.
Yeah,
I don't think it's Kevin Durant.
I don't think it happens.
No, I don't think that they'll let it happen. I think Kyrie could be one of the first ones. I wouldn't be shocked if Donovan Mitchell gets traded. I think that I've heard he would probably like to go to the Knicks.
Yeah.
If I'm him, and I know Miami's interested, I'm trying to force my way to the Heat.
I'm saying get me to the Heat.
Because the Heat are not the dysfunctional mess that the Knicks are.
Yeah, and Miami, like, bro.
Yeah,
in Miami.
I'd rather be in Miami than New York. Yeah, definitely.
No property tax.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not there's property taxes.
Oh, no income tax.
No income tax.
No income tax. Exactly.
Which not a bad thing when your income is $30 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, bro, sign yourself up for Miami at anything.
Yeah, exactly.
At any cost, you got to get to Miami.
So basketball is in a little bit of a holding pattern right now, just waiting for some of the big trade pieces to fall.
Sure.
Summer League, like I said, it's going. The guys who you expected to look good are looking good. And so with that being said, I'm going to move off basketball.
Okay.
and go into the UFC.
Let's do it.
I've got a few segments for the UFC. First of all, I'm going to go through each division and tell you who my favorite fighter is in there.
Okay.
So you guys get a little bit of a better sense of me as an MMA fan.
Okay.
And then we will also be playing Matchmaker. So basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's what are the fights that... I'm doing it from the perspective of the champions. So, what is the name that they would like to see on their next contract?
Okay.
And then the last thing I'm doing for the UFC is I'm previewing the main event for this weekend.
All right.
So, my favorite fighter in each division, women's strawweight, Rose Namajunas, coming off a really kind of boring fight with Carla Esparza, but she's generally a really, really exciting fighter to watch. At strawweight, there's a lot of fighters you could pick. You could pick Wei Li, you could pick Rose, you could pick Carla Esparza. For a long time for me, my favorite in that division was Joanna, but she just retired, so happy retirement to her. So
congratulations.
That's now Rose's spot.
All right.
She trains out in I think the gym's in Arvada with Trevor Whitman and Justin Gaethje and Kamaru Usman goes there, so it's a really good gym out of Colorado.
Nice.
So, got to represent that.
Sure.
Flyweight, women's flyweight. There's only one answer here. Valentina Shivchenko. This is she, in my opinion, is the best female fighter in the sport. She's my favorite female fighter in the sport, and
he watches all your matches with one hand.
Yes, totally. That's it. That's totally it. No, that's also it. That division's tough to have any other favorite fighter in. Like Caitlin Chikagan's good. Jessica I was good. I think Jessica I just retired. She might have just retired too. A couple of people just retired.
Congratulations.
But the gap between Valentina and the rest of that division is so massive that you just sort of marvel at Valentina as she picks everybody apart.
Sure.
Women's bantamweight, Amanda Nunes. Also, just like the person that everybody says is the women's GOAT. Definitely has a strong case for it. I just like Valentina more because I think Valentina is just more skilled.
Sure.
But Amanda has been dominant for almost her entire career. And I got nothing but respect for her. I think she's about to reclaim her title, but we shall see.
I guess we'll see.
Men's flyweight, Davison Figueiredo. Men's flyweight has lacked interesting people for a while, but Figueiredo is different. He embraces sort of the villain role.
Okay.
He hits really hard. He's flashy. And I think that's something that flyweight needs, and he's certainly the fighter that like drew me to flyweight ever since Demetrius Johnson left. Bantamweight. This is going to be one that not a lot of people like, but my favorite bantamweight is Sean O'Malley. Yeah, he hasn't fought a lot of the top dudes. Yeah, he talks a lot of shit. Yeah, he's got crazy hair and tattoos and all this. Like, he's got all these really flashy things that bother a lot of purists.
Sure.
But he's just really fun. He talks a lot of shit, usually backs it up. Coming off that no contest, a little disappointing. But he's by far the most interesting man at bantamweight, and he is exactly the man that the bantamweight division needs to, like, bring interest back.
Sure.
Featherweight, Max Holloway. Far and away my favorite featherweight. A lot of people say that we want striking or we want grappling or yada yada. No, what fans of this sport want is action, and Max Holloway brings the action for 5 rounds every single time. He is a guaranteed, like, high violence, high pace fight that if you can survive 5 rounds with Max Holloway,
you should get a t-shirt.
You should get a t-shirt. Or in the case of the people that beat Max Holloway, it's usually a gold belt.
Fair enough.
So
I think I like the t-shirt more though.
Yeah. That's important stuff. Yeah.
I survived 5 rounds with Max Holloway. Phrasing.
Exactly. So Blessed Express, that's my favorite featherweight. Lightweight. This was the toughest division for me to pick. And it came down to 3 dudes. Came down to Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje, or Dustin Poirier. I still don't feel that strongly about this because I really love all 3 of them.
Sure.
I'm going with Dustin Poirier because he seems like a really good dude on top of everything else.
Yep.
And I don't know, man. Like, Gaethje they call him the highlight because he's super violent, fights hard every time. Conor was the hype train. He just always, he's called notorious because he is notorious. Everyone knows who he is. But Dustin is really the guy. He's all about hard work. He's all about he's a really great boxer. He's just sort of tough to quantify. Like, great charity work. I don't think he'll ever get the belt at 155. I think that time is probably past.
Okay.
But, again, super entertaining. Good dude. Great charity work. Love Dustin Poirier.
Hell yeah.
Welterweight, Jorge Masvidal. This is one that is a little touchy right now because he may or may not have assaulted somebody.
Oh, boy.
But it was another fighter, so I don't feel that bad. Still, shouldn't do it. Don't assault people, kids. But he's my favorite. He's like one of the most like real fighters in the UFC. Of like, he's gonna say what he thinks, and it's not fake. You can tell it's not fake.
Yeah.
It's not a character. He's a badass, really good boxer, really good striker in general.
Sweet.
Again, I don't think he's going to be winning the welterweight strap. Too many wrestlers in his way that he just seemingly can't get by.
Yeah.
But the personality of Jorge Masvidal and the style of him, I'm just sort of drawn to it.
Sure. I like it.
Middleweights, Robert Whittaker. Gamer, dude.
Yeah?
Like, he loves video games. Is sort of charming. Not a great trash talk or anything like that. Like, not huge for, like, being entertaining.
Sure.
But his personality is just, like, endearing if you ever can, like, find the stuff to, like, hear him talk.
Sure.
And I really, again, he seems like a good dude. Really good dude. Like, really good, like, class act for the sport.
So clearly you like nice men.
Yes. Obviously.
Nice guys finish first with Wyatt. You heard it here first.
Exactly. No, but I think that a lot of these dudes that I picked are like the guys that you would want to be the spokespeople for the sport.
That's
because
fair.
The perception of MMA, in a lot of ways, is like these aren't good guys. They go in, they cage fight and stuff like that. But a lot of these dudes outside of that context are really good.
Sure.
Granted, some of them are not. Conor McGregor, Jorge Masvidal, they sort of are like, they've just been rough their whole life, and it just translates and stays that way inside and outside of the cage. But guys like Robert Whittaker aren't like that. And killer inside the cage, super nice guy outside of the cage, and I love that. Israel Adesanya was a close second.
Sure.
But I don't know. Lately, his personality just hasn't registered the same with me as it used to. Like, it almost seems forced. I don't think it is. It might just be the amount of time I've been exposed to it. But right now, I just like Robert Whittaker's demeanor, and so I'm sticking with that.
Hell yeah.
Now, light heavyweight might have been the toughest for me to pick.
Okay.
Mostly because, for just a totally different reason than lightweight, in that there's not a ton of people I care about at light heavyweight right now.
Right.
Like, all of like the staples of light heavyweight have recently left. So you're sort of stuck with the guys that you've never really seen before. And no knock on any of them, but a lot of them are like European and English isn't their first language, so it's tough to sort of like get a surface level connection to them.
Sure.
But I'm going with the guy who just won the belt, and that's Yuri Prohaska,
okay.
Because he's just really entertaining to watch. He has this weird like funky style when he fights, and he seems like, in everything I've seen, he seems like a true martial artist, and that it's all serious. He wants to rematch the guy he just beat because he felt that he didn't have a good performance.
Wow.
And he just managed to like catch him at the end and beat him. But so he seems like a really honorable guy.
Okay.
And I think that's a totally different look for the light heavyweight division than when John Jones was in it.
Sure.
Because John Jones is another example of a guy that's just, he can't get his shit together outside of the cage to save his damn life.
Yeah.
And then heavyweight, Francis Ngannou. This guy is a knockout waiting to happen. It's amazing. He's one of the only heavyweights that looks scary. Like a lot of heavyweights, God, they look like most heavyweights you could walk down the street and find a big dude and be like, yeah, that guy could be a heavyweight. Not guys like Ngannou. Ngannou is 260 pounds and looks like his body is carved out of stone.
Wow.
Hardest punch ever registered is from Francis Ngannou.
Really?
Apparently, like the force of it is the equivalent of a car crash.
Wow.
So when he hits you in the face with that, not ideal.
Yeah.
Super entertaining though. Love him. Really happy he's the heavyweight champion because I think he brings something really interesting to the heavyweight division that was not there for a very, very long time.
Sure.
So those are my favorite fighters in each division. And now we are moving into championship matchmaker.
Okay.
Women's strawweight. So the current champ is Carlos Esparza. Conventional wisdom would be like you'd want to see Rose fight her because Rose is probably currently the most interesting person. But they just fought and it was so boring. You cannot make that fight. So who would Carlos Esparza want to face? You probably want to face Weili. Because Weili brings the entire audience of China with her. She was the champion right before Rose. This is as close as you can get to like a big fight that also feels like a legitimate championship fight.
Sure.
Women's flyweight. Valentina has completely cleared out that division. So I think Valentina's ideal like fight is actually her moving up to rematch Amanda Nunes.
Okay.
It's the only fight that I think challenges her, and I think she wins it. So I think that would be ideal for Valentina. Avenge that. Well, technically she's lost to her twice, but the second one was a split decision that really could go either way.
Yeah.
So I would say that Amanda Nunes is the matchup Valentina Shivchenko should be chasing after.
Okay.
It'd probably be the biggest title fight in women's MMA right now.
Wow.
Women's bantamweight, Juliana Pena. Now she's having a rematch of Amanda Nunes right now, but the unfortunate thing for her is I think the person who she would like to see is Valentina Shivchenko.
Okay.
Because again, she lost to Valentina, so you'd like to avenge that. If you can beat Amanda and Valentina, you are firmly established as the best women's fighter out there. So if she can manage to get by Amanda again, that is no easy task, and that's certainly not a given. Sure. But if she manages that, the next person she would probably like to see is Valentina. I don't know how she'd fare. I don't think it would go well. But in terms of upside, it doesn't get any better for Juliana Pena than that.
Sure.
Women's featherweight, Amanda Nunes holds the belt there. There's literally nobody else in that division. It's sort of just who wants to step up to fight Amanda at 145. Yeah. So I don't have a name for that one because there's no obvious person who would.
Yeah.
Like, I think if she fights Valentina, it'll be at 135 because if it's at 145, Valentina's giving up just too much weight.
Yeah.
And basically all the other big like bantamweights that she could have fought have already fought her there and lost in devastating fashion.
Yeah.
So on to the men, Davison Figueiredo. He would probably. It's tough. I think Brandon Moreno's the next best guy, but he's already fought him 3 times. So he would like to see Kai Kara France. Unfortunately, Kai Kara France has to get through Brandon Moreno in a fight that's coming up in a few weeks. But for Figueiredo, he needs fresh blood at 125, and Kai Kara France is that guy.
Sure.
Bantamweights. Aljamain Sterling is the champion there. He would, if I'm him, I would very much like to see TJ Dillashaw. He was the champ before everything got weird at bantamweight.
Okay.
So this is like a real vindication thing of like, I beat the dude that had the belt before he had to leave the sport, and then people fought for the vacant belt, but nobody really beat TJ for the 135 belt. So I think Aljamain Sterling, if he can check that box off, he beat Jan, he beat TJ, and then you just sort of start getting into really interesting dudes. Like he'd probably have to rematch Corey Sandhagen at some point, then maybe Sean O'Malley if he's lucky, and but TJ would be a huge notch on the belt.
Fair enough.
Literally. Featherweight, Volkanovski. I think that he would absolutely like to leave featherweight for his next fight and fight Charles Oliveira for the lightweight belt. That's the ideal scenario for Volkanovski. He's already beat pretty much all the top guys at featherweight, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 dudes.
Sure.
One of them fights this weekend. We'll get into that. And the other guy is Josh Emmett, and he is simply not that interesting. Like, he's just not an exciting prospect. He's an exciting fighter. Like, he knocks people out and stuff like that.
Sure.
But he just brings no name value.
Gotcha.
And so the difference is, when you go up to take on, like, a double champ status, that's big no matter what. So I think that would be Volkanovski's ideal. Charles Oliveira.
Fair enough.
At lightweight, Charles Oliveira technically doesn't have the belt right now, but he is, like, everybody acknowledges he's the champion.
Yeah.
He lost the belt for a really weird scale issue that pretty much nobody thinks is legitimate. So I'm counting him as the champ. This is another tough one because the answer could be Volkanovski for him. If he beats Volkanovski, it's a reclaim his lightweight title. Great. He could go against Islam Makhachev. Great, whatever.
Sure.
But he's had one name on his mind, and he won't stop saying that name. And if anybody really can get this fight, it's your best fight, and that's Conor McGregor.
Of course.
He won't. Charles Oliveira has been very open that he's been in the sport a long time, and right now he wants to fight Conor McGregor purely for financial reasons and set his family up for like generations with the money.
I don't blame him.
I can't hate on that.
Can't blame him.
And if you can get the Conor McGregor fight, take it. I could have put Conor McGregor for a lot of people, but I'm only doing it once just because it's such an obvious answer, and Oliveira's been calling for it, and he deserves it.
Fair enough. We'll have to see if that happens. Does he? We talked about this last time, I think, but McGregor, is he good with his leg and everything, or do we even know?
We don't know for sure. He says he is, so who knows? Might be. I think that he probably is at this point. It's been about a year. Yeah, it's been about a year. He's probably fine. You really will never know until somebody kicks the damn thing. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So yeah, lightweight, Charles Oliveira, Conor McGregor.
All right.
Welterweight, Kamaru Usman has been the champ there for a long time, to the point where he is starting to lap people, like defending the belt just multiple times against guys. But there is one rising prospect at welterweight that everybody's getting behind, that Usman would love to probably take on now, while he hasn't lost at all, and try to stop the hype train, and that is Hamza Chimayev. That before his most recent fight with Gilbert Burns, the dude had never been hit more than I think he might have taken 5 punches through 3 fights, which is insane.
5 punches in 3 fights, holy shit.
Yeah.
It didn't
So,
even register to me.
an amazing wrestler who knocked out people at middleweight and welterweight. He comes from that Russian Dagestani style wrestling group, but he trains out in Sweden, so good for him. But
here it's lovely this time of year.
I bet, but yeah, really great wrestler, really interesting fighter, and he just really got people on his side by fighting 2 times in 2 weeks at a different weight class. Stopped both of them in the first round. His next fight knocked out the dude in 10 seconds, and then Gilbert Burns put on a really great fight with him. You could argue Gilbert Burns got it. I think it was a split decision.
Oh really?
But Gilbert Burns is one of the top dudes in the weight class. So at this point, Usman would love to see him before anybody else gets the chance to knock him off that hype train. So,
sure.
Welterweight, Kamaru Usman, Hamza Chimayev. Middleweight, Israel Adesanya. Again, longtime champion here. Alex Pereira is the guy that Israel Adesanya would want to see. It's the only dude that's interesting at middleweight right now.
Fair.
Only one. Because he's beat Adesanya twice in another sport, granted. But it creates the illusion of this guy could be beat.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple. He needs somebody to make him interesting right now, because right now the perception is his fights are boring, and I don't think that would happen with this fight. So middleweight, Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira.
Sure.
Light heavyweight, Yuri Prochazka. He sort of has called his shot with wanting a rematch with Glover Teixeira, and so I'm giving it to him. Light heavyweight's in a really interesting spot. They need somebody to establish themselves. If Yuri can go in and beat Glover in definitive fashion, he will be the most interesting man at light heavyweight, and that is the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Fair enough.
So, Glover Teixeira for Yuri Prochazka. Heavyweight, Francis Ngannou. John Jones made the move from light heavyweight to heavyweight. We've been waiting to see it, and Francis should not want anybody else to get a shot at John Jones before him. Francis can knock out quite literally anybody. John has yet to legitimately lose through that dude's had to have had almost 15, 20 title fights at this point and never lost one. Wow. So if Francis can get John Jones and beat him, that's the pinnacle. That's the ultimate. Yeah. And John hasn't fought in 2 years, putting on weight to go to heavyweight. So if you believe in ring rust at all, try to get him right away. So
that's fair.
Heavyweight, Francis Ngannou, try to take on John Jones. And then finally, what I'm going over for MMA is this weekend's main event, because it has some pretty serious implications in the featherweight division.
Sure.
So this weekend, we have Brian Ortega fighting Yair Rodriguez in the main event. Brian Ortega is in a very interesting position. where he's fought Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski for the belt, lost both times, but beats everybody else. So featherweight is in this weird spot where they have a clear number 1 guy with Volkanovski,
Sure.
a clear number 2 guy with Max Holloway,
Yeah.
and potentially a clear number 3 guy with Yair Rodriguez, or with Brian Ortega. That is very tough for a division.
Yeah.
So I'm going to break this down through who the UFC wants to see win this fight,
Okay.
who I want to see, and then who I think actually is going to win.
Okay.
I think the UFC would want Yair Rodriguez to win this fight because that will throw a wrench into the top of the featherweight division. And if they want Charles Oliveira to fight somebody else at lightweight, this gives Yair Rodriguez a clear contender to fight, or Volkanovski a clear contender to fight in Yair Rodriguez. He's a super wild card guy, like super creative, super crazy. Was losing a fight that knocked the dude out with 1 second left on the clock.
Wow.
with like a weird like ducking up elbow into the face of the Korean Zombie, which you're never gonna see that again, and not from anybody but him. Wow. So he's crazy. So he'd at least be interesting for Volkanovski, sure. Who I want to win, Yair, for the same reasons. Nothing against Ortega. I actually really like Ortega, but I think featherweight needs somebody else to be able to get to the top. Who I think is going to win, Ortega. Nobody else has been able to beat him except the 2 dudes who are clearly above everybody else.
Yeah.
His jiu-jitsu's crazy. When he fought the Korean Zombie, he didn't even really use his jiu-jitsu, and he just outstriked the dude. So he clearly has like improved, and he seems to just be like a level beneath the top 2 guys.
Yeah.
Unless Yair manages to just catch him with something crazy, I suspect Brian will latch onto him and choke him out, and featherweight will be stalled.
Even more.
And Volkanovski will probably go to 155 for his next fight.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, it's a tough one. I really like Brian Ortega. I think the division needs Yair Rodriguez to win, but T-City has never lost to anybody but the absolute best. So that's how I think that's going to go. I think it's going to
We'll have to see.
I think it's going to be Brian Ortega by submission.
Okay.
So there we go.
Lock it down.
Exactly.
Mortgage on it, baby.
Exactly. And now from MMA, we go on to our favorite sport, football.
Good to be here.
This weekend, or really this week, a legend was born.
Yes.
A king has been crowned.
He is the man. He is him.
He is him, and he is with your mom right now.
As we speak.
Zach Wilson.
Dude, I love
my
that.
guy.
Dude.
Holy crap.
Cougar hunter.
Yeah.
Cougar for life, baby.
Exactly. What a guy.
What a fucking stud. I don't even know what to say. That's the dream.
Listen, you lost your girlfriend for...
To your friend.
To your
and
friend.
Your teammate. Your former
teammate. For doing your mom's friend.
Win.
Way to go.
Win.
Zach, if you're going to lose a girlfriend, this is the way to do it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've never lost a girlfriend in this way, but I can't. What a baller.
What a power move.
Oh, my God. I mean, and then, did you see his Instagram post when he got back?
Wasn't it literally just like, was that,
he said,
was away from, yeah, was away from my phone. What I missed.
Fucking baller.
You missed nothing,
You
Zach.
missed nothing, dude. We missed everything, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
bullseye, dude.
Top 5 quarterback in the league.
I know. I mean, as of today, I'm officially tempted to be like, dude, the Jets might win the Super Bowl with that freaking energy coming out of there.
I might put some money down on
Oh,
that for
my
fun.
God.
For fun. Hey, don't ever say Jets fans, I don't root for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm out here
Jets
dying
fans.
for it. I almost bought a jersey for this fucking guy after this whole news just dropped. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get a Zach Wilson jersey.
I think we're going to have to.
Dude, next week, both of us Zach Wilson jerseys.
Oh my gosh.
Book it.
Way to go, Zach.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just wanted to give a little shout out there to the man, the myth, the absolute legend.
For those of you who don't know, I'll break down the story very quickly, but I'm sure everyone knows at this point, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, so Zach Wilson, quarterback for the New York Jets, recently just had a whole kind of Instagram feud with former teammate and Washington Commanders wide receiver right now, Dax Milne. Turns out Dax Milne is dating former girlfriend of Zach Wilson. That means they are no longer talking to each other.
Way to downgrade, lady.
A hell of a downgrade. This whole thing is very high school, and there's millions of dollars on the fucking line here, which is so funny about it as well, is that these are $1 million people doing the exact same bullshit minus fucking a mom. than that we are. But
if I was that guy, what's his name, the receiver?
Dax.
I would be checking up on your mom right about that.
I'd be calling my mom 24/7. I'd be like, "Do not open the door.
Don't listen to Zach.
If Zach calls you, you do not answer." What ended up happening? Obviously, there's some shit that goes down where if you've ever been in a middle school friendship group, you know exactly what happened. She was a homie hopper. She caught a lot of shit. She caught a lot of backlash for dating the teammate and former friend of her ex-boyfriend. And again, this is why I say it's all very high school and middle school bullshit. But she tries to get back at Zach, who has done nothing, by the way. Has phones off. He's in Idaho working out with the boys. This has nothing to do with Zach. She comes out and says, "Yeah, well, Zach fucked his mom's friend." And it's just... I don't know what the fuck she was thinking.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what she was thinking. And generally, I think she's right. Generally, that would not be something that's applauded. Or you'd think. But then when that bomb dropped, all of a sudden everyone was like,
"He's the man.
Zach!
He's the fucking man."
Yeah.
That's the dream. That's every guy's dream. Tell me it's not. Tell me it's not.
I don't think it's every guy's dream, but it's certainly like a bucket list thing where you're like, check that one off. Depends on how your mom's friends look, I guess.
Why it's more of a on to bigger and better, I guess, and by that I mean phrasing. But
no, but Zach Wilson, way to go, dude. You didn't even have to say anything, and all of a sudden everyone's getting your jersey. I would love to see if jersey sales just spiked.
Bro, that's what's the dream is. That's the dream is that you don't do anything, and all of a sudden the entire world overnight just loves you.
Exactly.
And knows your name for doing something fucking legendary. So,
exactly.
Shout out to Zach. As you know, I was already big on Zach before.
I wasn't, but he just went up a few levels for me.
Yeah, this is
what a guy.
This is insane. I mean, the story is just hilarious. The memes are even funnier. Twitter is undefeated as always, and I just think it's absolutely insane that this is a story in the NFL right now.
Exactly. So congrats, Zach. We love it. Now moving on to something that I've waited for a long time, ever since I first saw concept images of this years ago.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Cincinnati Bengals might have the sickest alternate look out there right now. They're bringing out the white tiger helmets. Hell yes. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's better looking than the orange helmets.
I don't even know.
They're not bad looks, but
I think
the white. Ooh.
I'll be honest to God. I think we have the best helmets in the league. I think 110%. I think this is too cool of a look, and I actually saw a concept of the reverse of where it was black with the orange stripes.
That's cool too.
I was very big on that one. I was talking to my friend about it where we were just discussing. I sent him the picture, and I was like, I don't know if it's white tiger. I just saw this picture. Couldn't credit as a credible source, but it looked. There were 100 helmets that were black and orange. Yeah. So I was like, okay, why would this even exist if it wasn't true?
I'm telling you right now, next time we're going to be ranking the top 10 helmets.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely
because
in.
Because I think there's a few good ones.
There's a few we could absolutely talk about.
But the white tiger ones, they've looked so good.
Oh my god.
Some
of these pictures are just
oh my god. They look great. And I've never been that interested in having a whole lot of Bengal stuff, but I'm getting some version of that white tiger helmet.
Yeah, me and my good friends have been talking about this one for a long time. We've always wanted this. The white tiger has been the meme in our group. Actually, they're just like, hey, when are we gonna get it? When are we gonna get it? And then even just and this was before I was even a Bengals fan, of literally just straight up we just thought it would be sick.
Definitely.
And especially when Joe Burrow got there, it was like, oh my god, they gotta do the white tiger now.
Definitely.
Gotta do it. So, man.
And
so
it's
happy.
official. The Bengals will be wearing the white tiger in my version of the all-time bracket thing.
I agree. I think so too.
I'm choosing to imagine they're wearing the white tiger look.
That is one of the cleanest looks in the NFL right now.
Definitely.
And we haven't even fully seen it.
Exactly. And this just brings me back to the whole... I love the fact that they're letting them bring back alternate looks.
Yep.
I think that a lot of the alternate looks are really cool.
Yep.
I would love to see... This is the helmet the 49ers wear a lot. I'd love to see this version of it.
The classic one.
Yeah, come back for a game.
Love it.
Yeah, we'd love to see the red face mask. Pats are bringing back that white helmet.
Yep.
Love that too. I want the Seahawks to do their old look.
Okay.
I want to beat you when you're wearing it, but I would love to see that look from them. Cardinals probably don't do it. That bird was pretty derpy as shit, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. Rams, you guys have never looked good a day in your life, so wear whatever you want.
All right.
But like,
just picking on the NFC West.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time doing that.
Relentless.
Yeah. But I think a lot of these teams, the alternate looks are really cool, and I'm glad that we're going to see them.
Even with my scorn for Denver lately, I genuinely would love to see I would love to see throwback uniforms.
The Broncos have generally looked good through their history.
With the exception of the brown and yellow unis from the AFL, absolutely. I agree.
That barely even counts anymore.
It counts. Oh,
it counts, but it barely does.
They wore a concept of it with Champ Bailey back in the day. Like they wanted you to know. They wanted you to know they were the Wyoming Cowboys before the Wyoming Cowboys.
They had the Padres colors.
Oh God.
That's what they are.
I know. It's so disgusting to think about.
Exactly.
Anyways, that's why I'm.
But this just got us on the thing of alternate looks. Exciting, and I think that...
And don't come at me for colors when I'm roasting you guys for Padres, but you're like, well, you hate the Giants, but you love the Bengals. Fuck off. Sorry, I had to say that.
The Giants look good. Listen, dude.
Orange and black is a only okay on the Bengals unis.
It's not.
It's
okay on Halloween. It's okay on the Giants.
I know it's great on the Halloween.
Listen, dude. There are some color combinations that just work. Orange and black's one of them.
I think the Giants do not make it work.
I'm choosing to say that.
You guys look ugly as shit.
Fair enough. But yeah, excited for the alternate looks, and I think that we're going to be doing some rankings here soon. We're going to rank some alternate looks too.
I like that. I like that one.
So, moving on with football, continuing on rather, we are going to dissect divisions now as the season approaches. And usually you start off AFC East and you work your way through. It's the order we're doing our all-time bracket in. But because we're doing that for the all-time thing, we're flipping it as we go through this. So NFC fans and stuff like that, and AFC fans, you both have something going on at the same time.
Good for you guys.
Good for you guys. So we're starting off with the NFC West. We'll be going through them in the order in which they finished last year. So we're going to do that, or I think they are. I might have flipped the 49ers and the Cardinals, but...
No, 49ers were ahead of the Cardinals, right? Who won the division? Rams?
Rams won it, and then
Niners, then Cardinals, then Seahawks?
I think Cardinals were... I have no idea. The 49ers and the Cardinals were really close by the end, honestly. They were both wild cards, and difference is 49ers went further. So they're going second here. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So starting off with the Rams,
okay.
We're going to go through, give you the whole projected starting roster, and discuss it. Any particular strengths, weaknesses, questions, stuff like that. And then we will classify them as a contender or a pretender.
I like it.
So, Rams. Quarterback, obviously. Stafford, running back. Cam Akers. Wide receiver, Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson and Van Jefferson if they run three. Tight end, Higbee. Then left tackle, Joe Noteboom. David Edwards at left guard, Brian Allen at center. Right guard, Logan Bruss. Right tackle, Rob Havenstein. So on offense, what sticks out to you? Because for me, right away, it is having to replace Andrew Whitworth at left tackle.
I agree. Joe Noteboom, rookie. Do we know of him?
I've honestly never heard of him. I think I've heard of him, and I think he was a backup for them that they really liked, and he's being allowed to start this year.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see. I think, you're losing Andrew Whitworth, which is, a good way to end it. Get the ring, call it. Can't blame him for, being 40-ish, something 40, and finally moving on. But, I think that...
Beat his old team to get the ring, too.
I hate that, to be honest with you. But I'm glad he got the ring. But, I think, Matt Stafford needs to be protected. And that's something that this O-line is going to have to do. And I think Joe Noteboom, if they're big on him, I'll be big on him for now. But I think it's something absolutely that you don't want to turnstile at left tackle. On the blind side.
I promise you right now, you're going to look like a turnstile when you see 97 in red and gold.
It's fair.
Now, well, granted, that's not specific to you, though,
Sure.
Joe. That's going to be quite a few people.
Also, what sticks out to me, I believe it's Rob Havenstein?
Yep.
Or is it Havenstein?
I think it's Havenstein.
I think it...
I'm going to say Havenstein because I think it sounds better.
I'm going to say Havenstein because I'm a Wallerstein, and I like the Steen.
I like Havenstein. Sounds more like...
Now I got to find out. Now I got to find it. Because I've been saying Havenstein my whole life, but then you said Havenstein, and I was like...
Wallerstein.
Doesn't sound good, does it?
No, but Havenstein does. But breaking this offense down a little bit.
Okay.
What do you think of Stafford in like the grand calculus of quarterbacks? Because I don't think he's good enough for them to win it back to back. Because I think that he still played really inconsistently, even in the games that they won. And
yeah, there would be. I had him in fantasy last year on one of my teams.
Yeah.
And there would be moments where I'd start him nonstop because I could.
Yeah.
But there would be moments where he'd throw through picks to
Yep.
start the game, and I'm like, what the fuck,
dude? He almost single-handedly lost the NFC Championship game. I still haven't forgot this. Jaquiski Tart, you son of a bitch. Like, he heaves one up, and it is a punt, basically. Right there, he jumps up, he has it, and he drops it. I hit myself in the face. Like, I facepalmed so hard in that moment. But, like,
Oof.
It really was that type of play. Like, he just got lucky on things like that, but I don't think it happens for 2 straight playoff runs.
Yeah.
I don't think that, again, he's not a weakness on this team.
No.
But it is a question of if they run into like other elite quarterbacks that won't make those type of mistakes as consistently, will that bite him in the ass? And I say yes.
I think so too. I think he's top 10, top 7 maybe.
He's the low end of the top 10 for me.
I'd put him, low end, top 10, probably about right. I think he's a great quarterback. I think you can win with him.
Obviously you can.
I don't. Well, no shit, but
Yeah.
I don't think you need to go out of your way and build a giant ass team around him. I think he can cover some of the holes. I just think that's the issue is that he plays a little hero ball.
Yep.
He wants to be the guy who throws a fucking dime down the end of the field and wins the game.
Well, I mean,
sometimes he's not accurate on that.
He got used to that when he had a 6'5" freak to throw to.
Who's got a garage door as his catch radius.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude could catch anything
exactly
a mile away from him. 100%. I think I think they're in a fine spot.
They're fine on offense. I don't doubt that.
Yeah, but I do question Stafford a bit. I mean, he hung in there and he pulled it off against the Bengals, and credit where credit's due. I know I'm being a little bit of a hater, but
feel free. Let the hate flow through you.
But yeah, I think I got Burrow ahead of him. Let's put it that way. I think
fair enough.
The best quarterback in that Super Bowl is not Matthew Stafford.
I don't think either of them played particularly well that game. I just think that
one of them was getting sacked every other play.
Well, I mean that could still happen again. Like
not with this one. Bodyguard, Lyle Collins.
Whatever you say, dude. But
you got Lyle Collins, Alex Kappa.
You never know. You never know how that turns out until they actually play together. We've seen some really good players come together and not work. Running back Cam Akers, I think he's gonna be fine, especially another year, another few months removed from the Achilles. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp, you obviously got that. He's a really strong number 1.
Yeah.
The question now becomes, does Allen Robinson completely make up for losing Odell and Robert Woods? At this point in Robinson's career also, let's keep in mind, he's no longer a young receiver.
He's getting older. He's 31, 32, 30?
Somewhere around there.
Wrong side of 30.
He spent a long time in Jacksonville, wasted away there, wasted away in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll probably play better with the Rams, but I don't think he's the Pro Bowler that he once was.
No.
And Van Jefferson's probably a good 3, but
I like Van Jefferson at 3.
But there is question, or I think it's fair to question, if their depth with those weapons is as good as it was last year.
And I'd say no. I think I love bringing in Allen Robinson, especially because you don't need him to be wide receiver 1.
Yep.
So I think he's a great wide receiver 2 in this time of his career. I love Van Jefferson as a slot guy, as a speedster. he's got some cool highlights from last year where I think genuinely if he kind of hones in his skills and puts on a little bit of muscle and works on his receiving, absolutely it could be a great number 3 for him. I can't name another wide receiver on that roster. That's my issue.
Nope, they probably drafted some third-round dude that'll do stuff. That's credit to the Rams on this. If you're going to play the type of game they do, which is we're going to trade away all our high draft picks for proven veterans.
Yep.
Not a bad strategy. You have to hit on late-round guys, which they've done a solid job of.
They've done a good job of.
So that's just always the question. Are they going to be able to maintain that? I think either way, their offense is going to be fine this year. Yeah. I don't see this offense as a juggernaut, but I see it as probably like a top 10 offense.
They're still going to be good. It'll be they'll put on a good defense.
Yeah,
but it won't be.
They'll be fine.
Back. Yeah.
They'll still be fine on offense. I'm not worried about them there. I don't think that they're going to be like the best offense in the league though.
Yeah.
Defensively, I'm going to go through the starters here or the projected starters. D-end, Greg Gaines, D-tackle, Aaron Donald, D-tackle, A'Shawn Robinson, outside linebacker Leonard Floyd, inside linebacker Bobby Wagner, inside linebacker Ernest Jones, Jalen Ramsey at corner, Troy Hill at corner, David Long at corner, Jordan Fuller at safety, Nick Scott at safety. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I am not as confident in this defense as some other stuff. First of all, Von Miller might be an aging player, but he certainly was good enough that when he had Aaron Donald, he was very tough to stop.
Yep.
They don't have that anymore. Leonard Floyd is fine. He is not Von Miller, never has been, never will be.
Sure.
Aaron Donald's Aaron Donald, whatever. Nobody's going to be able to deal with that.
He's going to keep doing what he does.
Nobody's going to be able to deal with that, but
hopefully
it's just a matter of how you exploit the other guys.
Yep.
They bring in Bobby Wagner.
I like the move.
Congratulations, you still have the second best inside linebacker in the division. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
Don't be.
But I couldn't even pretend it.
No, you're good.
It makes me happy. Look, Bobby Wagner's a good player. He's an upgrade, I guess.
I like the move. I don't know if it is like a game-changing, oh shit, watch out for the Rams defense move.
No, there are other players on here that I worry about more.
Yeah.
Granted, he could be somebody that even though as he ages, when you have to devote 3 guys to Aaron Donald or 2 every play, he might be able to flow more freely behind Aaron Donald than he did with the guys in Seattle.
Yeah.
So that could be really good and really impressive. It's certainly an upgrade. He also knows this division really well. So
I think he's a good leader, too, for that defense.
Yeah, he's a good leader. He knows this division really well. He'll know what to do when he goes against the Seahawks. He'll know what to do when he goes against the 49ers. He'll know what to do when he goes against the Cardinals.
Yep.
Like, none of this stuff is unfamiliar to him.
Yeah.
So, it's an upgrade. I still don't think he's the best backer in the division. And not to mention inside linebacker. It's just a tough position to play. If he plays great, this will be big for them. But if not, who knows?
Yeah.
Corner, other than Jalen Ramsey, their secondary does not really have anything of note.
No, I like Taylor Rapp or Tyler Rapp.
Taylor Rapp.
I'm a fan of his.
Why is he not a projected starter here?
They use him as so much utility.
Did he leave?
No, I think he's still there.
Because I was thinking about him, and I thought he would have been one of the 2 safeties. Because he started there at the end of the year, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a great sub linebacker kind of guy. He plays he'll go in for a slot corner, he'll go in for a nickel, he'll go in for safety when they need an extra safety. Like they'll have him rush. Like he's just a great defensive piece.
Yeah.
That I don't know if he really has a starting position anywhere, but he's a key member of their defense.
They also lost, oddly enough, like the guy that played the best at safety for them in the playoffs. Was a dude that had been retired for 2 years.
Yeah,
freaking Eric Weddle.
Yeah, oh my God.
Why did
that even happened?
Why did you have to come out of retirement, buddy? Because he was a real pain in the ass in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. Then he fucking tore his pec and still.
Yeah,
Did he still play?
Yeah, he thugged it out.
Yeah, what a fucking stud.
Yeah, got his ring, former Charger. Good on you. But he's not there anymore. And I think that automatically takes out the guy who was the smartest player on that defense. So
yeah, I mean,
Bobby Wagner probably slides into that role of like the smartest dude.
He'll fit, yeah.
But Weddle, in terms of like, he just slides in after like a week of practice and knows the whole damn defense. It was like, you line up here. It's like, I hate you so much. I like Eric Weddle, actually. Yeah. I really liked Eric Weddle. I have no issue with Eric Weddle. I have an issue with who he won the Super Bowl for.
That's fair.
But
no, I'm with you 100%. Man, Eric just that was fun to watch. Like first of all, when he came out of retirement for the Rams, I was like, no fucking way. And then he just it took him a week, and then it looked like he'd been there the whole fucking time.
Yep. So
I gotta give it to him.
They've lost that, but I don't know. The Rams defense, it's sort of as it was the last years. Also, they have a few cornerstones, and everybody else just has to fill in.
Yeah.
Overall, if you had to give the Rams a letter grade
on the off season or where they're at right now?
Right now, where are you feeling for them?
I give them a B.
Okay, good. And I think B would classify them as a contender. Yeah, especially in the NFC.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely in the NFC.
Yeah.
There's a chance they win a wild card.
So the Rams are absolutely contenders. I think overall their roster sits somewhere around a B.
Yeah, I think B's fair. B, right in the center. B, I think, is kind of exactly.
You're lucky I don't give you a B- just out of spite.
I expected it almost. But now we're moving on to the 49ers, correct?
The other team that went to the NFC Championship. Fortunately, I'm completely unbiased on the subject.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and hear your projected starters for the team.
49ers, offense, Trey Lance at quarterback, Elijah Mitchell at running back, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk at the first two receivers, Juwan Jennings at the third, Kittle tight end, left tackle Trent Williams, left guard Aaron Banks. Center just retired, so sort of a question mark. A little bit of time has to come before we see who slides into that spot.
Sure.
Daniel Brunskill at right guard, Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. Overall, there's really only one question on this offense. Unfortunately, it's a very important question.
It's the quarterback.
Now I'll say it like this. I think if there's any team that is used to dealing with uncertainty at that position and thriving, it's this team.
Okay.
Like, they've dealt with inconsistent to bad to sometimes good. Like, they've dealt with a whole range of outcomes at quarterback and still fared pretty well and been formidable against some good teams.
Okay.
I think that his physical skill alone, Trey Lance's, makes defending them tougher because he can run and he can throw like really far, got a big arm. And so I think on the basis of that alone, you have to be more cautious about the 49ers offense. With Jimmy Garoppolo, there was like this chart that came out of like where he throws it, and it is literally all in the middle of the field and under 15 yards. So it's like if you could just stop him from throwing there,
you can stop him.
Golden.
Yeah.
Trey Lance, even in his 2 starts, he might not look great the whole games or anything like that, but he showed flashes, and one of those flashes was like a 70-yard in the air touchdown against the Texans. That's not a throw Jimmy Garoppolo makes.
Sure.
And I'm at the point with Jimmy Garoppolo where I just need to see something else because I've seen the cap on that offense. And I think Trey Lance just has a higher ceiling. The floor might be lower. If he just has a really bad game, they might just look abysmal. But I think that that's something I'm willing to deal with.
Sure.
Elijah Mitchell had a great rookie year. The 49ers, it doesn't really matter who plays running back for the 49ers. They've just sort of like cycled dudes in and out, and they look good.
They use who's fresh.
Yeah. Deebo and Ayuk, fine, great. Like,
if you can pay Deebo.
Really good. I think they will. I think he's become a lot less vocal about wanting to leave, and they've made it pretty clear they want him. So I think they're going to come to that deal.
I think so too.
I think Ayuk's a really strong number 2.
Yeah.
Kittle is, to me, the best tight end in the league. Trent Williams is the best left tackle in the league. It's just really just fill that center spot, and I'm not that worried about the 49ers offense.
Sure. I think my biggest question mark is obviously Trey Lance. I need to see way more. I am not in on him at all. I'll be completely
not
honest.
in on him yet, but
I don't even see it. I'm genuinely of the type of people who's like, what are you guys talking about?
I'll put it like this. I think of the second-year quarterbacks this year, he will win the most and look the best because he has. It's not that bold because Trevor Lawrence is saddled with Jacksonville.
True.
Zach Wilson is saddled with the Jets, and he didn't flash that much.
Playoff team.
Not even close.
With Zach at the helm, playoff team.
Mac Jones, the Patriots just don't have the weapons right now to really compete.
See, I don't think they need to. I think Mac is good enough with
yes, they do.
running an offense of just Like,
oh, yes, they do, because they're going to run into teams they need to throw against, and it won't work.
I think Matt can throw, though.
To who?
Oh, granted, that's it. I'm big on Jacoby Myers.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the difference. So, San Francisco is going to be able to run the ball. They always are.
Okay.
Difference is, he has Debo, Ayuk, Kittle,
Sure.
and Kyle Shanahan calling plays.
Sure.
He is set up to look better than all of them just by taking the snap.
That right there totally makes sense, except I watched Drew Lock play for the 2019 Broncos with Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Cortland Sutton.
This is proven those guys aren't.
All right, fair. I will give you that. I will say, though, what's not proven, Trey Lance, Mac Jones is.
I don't care.
I'm proving on Mac Jones. I think
listen, when we traded up last year, and they started saying Mac Jones is who we were going to pick, I was so vehemently against it. And I remain that way because you don't trade up for somebody who has a very low ceiling. You don't give up everything like that. I would rather we gave up what we did to take a chance on a dude with a cannon and who can run. And I don't think he hits this ceiling. But in terms of measurables, his upside is Josh Allen.
That's far.
Well, I know.
I would not say Josh Allen.
Well,
Josh Allen is a complete.
No, but I'm talking about in terms of like athletically, they're similar. In terms of mobile with massive arms. Both were super raw coming out of college. And the difference is he doesn't have to do it all with the 49ers. Like there is so much else on that team to make them win.
Sure.
That he just has to do certain things and threaten certain things, and they're at the very least a contending team. And I think that they're smart enough to understand that, and he's going to get every rep in training camp.
Well, shit.
Every rep in like he'll play in the preseason, and like he's going to get every single opportunity, and you can't hold back and wait. It's like you just have to do it, and I think that he just threatens enough, and he has enough smart and capable people around him that it won't be catastrophic.
I think it's going to be catastrophic.
It won't be. it won't be at all.
I'm just not big on Lance. There's too many reports that I've heard that are, granted, every single report that comes out right now is BS. I mean, we got people saying Tua looks great.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so
you got people saying Mac Jones looks like he has a cannon of an arm. He'll never have that.
I'm hearing Kenny already sucks. Like, I'm hearing all kinds of different, people will make their decisions very quickly and want you to stick to it. I'm going to be honest, the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is still there, I don't think it's from lack of trade.
I think it is. I think nobody wanted him with his bum shoulder.
Granted, I understand that's actually, I think, one of the reasons why Carolina didn't want him, as well as Carolina took forever to get Baker.
Well, here's the other thing.
Over.
Here's why I think there's a few reasons why he's still there. One of them is that he was injured and nobody would want that. Two, I think the 49ers overvalue him and the rest of the league is like, no. So I think the 49ers dug in on what value they wanted and the rest of the league is not willing to give it. And
I think we would have heard some reports though of what they're asking for.
Yeah, we did. 2 second-round picks.
That's not terrible for him.
I would not give up one.
I'd give up a second rounder.
Not for when he's coming off a shoulder surgery.
You're in win now mode.
Yeah, if I'm in win now mode, I'm definitely not looking for him.
No one else is around right now. You're in win now mode right now. Your quarterback tears his ACL tomorrow in camp. What do? I think I'd go pick out a guy for 1 year.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying the Browns should take him.
Oh, absolutely they should.
Yeah. So.
But I also want to see the Browns suffer because of what they did.
Yeah, I know. But I don't care if they suffer. I want him off my team. But moving on from quarterback. Yeah, it's obviously a question mark. But I think that he has enough tools. And from every report, he's super smart. He's super hardworking. And
we'll just have to see.
Yeah, and I think that there's too many other good things on that offense for him to fail. Like he will not look worse than Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson did last year because they both looked really bad. He won't look worse than Fields looks this year.
Oh well, no shit. I don't think. The Bears offense.
I would when we
team in general.
When we traded up, I wanted us to take Fields.
Fields wasn't there in that draft.
He was picked last year.
Why am I so stupid? Yeah, no, you're right. I was thinking for some reason I wanted Fields. I'm glad you guys didn't get Fields because that you would be sitting here with a different tone. Absolutely.
I think I'd feel really good.
Oh no, dude. Fields is. I'm not a Fields guy. I'm
all in on the dudes. I think that the only guys that are really worth taking are the dudes that have the upside to try to match Allen, Herbert, Mahomes, Burrow. Like, you have to try to set yourself in that spot by just taking bigger swings.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's that mentality of why you go for Trey Lance. Makes a shit ton of sense.
Here's the last thing I'm going to say about Trey Lance.
Okay.
And then I think we should move off quarterback.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah.
We're going on way too long.
Exactly. The last thing I'm going to say about Trey Lance is this. I'm going to give him 2 years starting before I end that debate.
That's fair.
Because I think that, again, if you look at the trajectory of guys who are raw out of college but super toolsy, it's usually the third year that they hit.
Yeah.
Or
you bench him for Teddy Bridgewater, in my case.
Won't happen.
Well,
we won't.
Not this one.
We won't do that. I need to see him I need to see him go through 3 seasons, 2 starting at this point.
Okay. And
that's when I will pass final judgment on him.
I think I give him 1. That being you sat for a year.
Yeah, I know.
So
who knows?
My rule is if you just took a year to learn everything, and then next year
if he comes out looking like Mahomes, I'm gonna be so unbearable.
Oh, I know. I can't wait.
But yeah, other than that position, the 49ers offense is totally set.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know. I like having a running back, personally.
We have running backs.
No, I like having one guy to rely on.
No.
But I do think the 49ers are in a good spot.
Like, I don't need running backs, like one running back on this team, because I've seen us make 50 of them look good.
And in this situation, I think for you guys and your coach and the whole offense, how it works, totally fine.
Yep.
This is the only team in the league that I look at the running back, I'm like, I don't care.
This team's kind of an enigma like that. But, so moving on to the defense.
Yeah.
Starting off, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, Samson Ebicom, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Travarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, Ambry Thomas, Jimmy Ward, George Odom. The front seven's fucking nasty.
Yeah, that is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Nick Bosa by himself is a
franchise guy.
Crazy D-end. Fred Warner's the best linebacker in football. Eric Armstead is a solid piece.
I like Travarius Ward too. I think he's sick.
Yeah, I'll get to him and the secondary in general.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking front seven. I just
Kinlaw. I am still pissed Kinlaw's even on this team.
Really, you didn't want him?
No, I don't think we should have ever traded DeForest Buckner.
That's fair.
With all these other teams that somehow make like cat magic happen and keep their dudes, that's a dude we should have kept. Because apparently, like, from what I've heard of it, we deemed that we couldn't keep Buckner, Armstead, Jimmy Ward, so they opted to keep They opted to keep Armstead and Jimmy Ward. I would rather lose both of them and have DeForest Buckner.
I think I'd move on from Jimmy Ward in that situation.
I would have moved on.
And that's coming from a guy who says pay Jesse Bates.
I would have moved on. Before I moved on from Jimmy Ward, I would have moved on from Eric Armstead. Because his best years only came after DeForest Buckner was already good, and then Nick Bosa arrives, and then Armstead has good years.
But I think that's why I keep him, is because if you're keeping Buckner and Eric Armstead's proven to benefit from him,
I would rather keep the third. I think that the third D-line spot is way more easy to rotate than a starting safety.
Sure.
So, but yeah, the front seven, I mean, it's basically, I don't have many concerns about the front seven for the 49ers.
Sure.
Almost all the concerns are in that secondary. I think Travarius Ward, he's a good player. I have no idea how he'll look transitioning over from the Chiefs to us.
Yeah.
That's always risky. Younger, though, so that's fine. If he works, he'll work for a long time. Jimmy Ward's a solid safety. Doesn't make a ton of plays, but he hits hard and he's good in run defense.
Yeah.
Everything else in that secondary, I don't particularly like.
Yeah, Ambry Thomas.
Rookie last year. Showed some flashes. I think as a third corner, might do okay.
Okay.
Mosley might do better as a second corner than as a first one.
Sure.
But
you think
This
That's
is just
where they need to improve.
This is just an entirely. Okay, I've been on this train for years that they need to improve that secondary. It's going to be the same deal as it was last year. If the pass rush is going, it's not going to be a problem. If it's not, it's going to be a problem. Yeah. So, I mean, overall, in terms of roster, I'll give the 49ers basically the same as the Rams. I'll give them a B because I think that they're stronger in more spots than the Rams, but the Rams have a quarterback. Yeah. So, ultimately, I think they even it out because I think that the 49ers can play the Rams the same way they always do, which is just go nasty, mean football on them and probably beat them. Unless they play a third time.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying B because I think again in the NFC this team's a contender and they've shown that they don't have to be elite at quarterback to be a contender because of the way they play football. They just play that weird they zig where everyone else zags. So they just play awkward football for most people. So I'll still give them a B and say they're a contender in the NFC.
I'll give them the B too. Yeah, a little bit more solid than the Rams, but that question mark at Trey Lance,
it's a big question mark.
It's too big.
But I'm choosing to put faith in the fact that the rest of that roster is ready-made, and they've already shown that they can win when a quarterback doesn't play well. And
the roster's a B. My question, it's only changes because of Trey Lance.
If this quarterback wasn't a question, it's an A.
I think so.
Like an A- probably for the secondary.
Trey Lance is proven, and we didn't have to have this conversation. Then yeah, absolutely. I think they're an A, and I think they're the favorites to win the division, even though the Rams just won it all.
Yep.
But yeah.
But it's a fairly significant question.
Unfortunately, and we're just gonna have to see what Trey Lance does. But playing devil's advocate, I don't think he's gonna do it. I think.
I'm choosing to believe.
But yeah, I can understand.
Listen, I haven't been given any reason to say he won't do it. Especially when everybody's having so much faith in these other rookie quarterbacks that take big leaps, and they don't have nearly the team this dude has. So, listen, a lot of people make a lot of the fact that he sat the first year. That was their plan the whole way. So as of right now, I feel like everything is still going according to plan, and I have no reason to believe that it won't work.
All right.
So there we go.
Fingers crossed.
So moving on to the Cardinals. Offense: Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marquise Brown. This will eventually be DeAndre Hopkins in that spot.
Okay.
But as of right now, the number one going in is Marquise Brown. AJ Green, Rondale Moore, tight end, Zach Ertz. Then on the line, they got DJ Humphries, Justin Pugh, Rodney Hudson, Will Hernandez, Kelvin Beachum. That's not particularly scary with Hopkins gone for the first few weeks.
I think even if you have Rondale Moore, Marquise Brown, and Hopkins all together playing right now, week one, I'm still not scared.
No. This is not.
Yeah, I don't like this team at all. As you can tell from my rankings of where I put them in the division, I have these guys being dead last. I think the Cardinals are...
I still can't put them last, but they're third. I think the gap... we all know who 1 and 2 are.
Yeah.
And then I think the gap between them and 3 and 4 is fairly significant.
I think it's big. I think this is the year we see Cliff Kingsbury get fired. I think it's finally over. And
might be.
I don't believe in Kyler at all. I think he's athletic, but I don't like his mentality. I don't like his headset.
I agree with that.
Mindset, excuse me.
I do believe in his talent. I don't believe that he can stay healthy.
No.
Like you said, everything I hear about Kyler makes me think he's kind of a douchebag.
I hate Kyler. I hate Kyler just based on because here's the one thing that pissed me off the most, which this is totally petty. He throws a Hail Mary to DeAndre Hopkins, right?
The Hail Mary.
Trademarks Hail Murray. Trademarks it.
I mean...
went out of his way to go trademark it.
I'll tell you right now why you do that, because it made him a bunch of money.
Of course, he's got T-shirts and up the wazoo. I'll give him that.
That annoyed me about Hopkins, too.
You threw a ball in a double coverage, and DeAndre Hopkins did all the fucking work.
First of all, it was triple coverage.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Triple coverage, so it's even worse. He made a fucking dumbass game-on-the-line decision that... 9 out of 10 times...
Yes.
Doesn't happen.
Yes.
9 out of 10 times the ball is just a little bit in the wrong spot.
Okay, to defend him a little on this, the clock's running out.
I'm not saying don't throw that ball into triple coverage.
I know, but but you're saying
totally get it.
You're saying like bad decision. But if you're gonna just heave one up towards anybody on that team,
it's gonna be DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, okay.
So why don't you fucking go out to Hopkins and fucking it's all Hopkins who fucking did it. So you go like
he had to get it there. He ran around and avoided guys.
He fucking bro.
Listen,
do not tell me the Hail Murray is bro. If any wide receiver is there, it's the Hail Murray.
No,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
There's a few.
I'm telling you, there's 2 wide receivers in the NFL who make that catch. It's Devontae Adams and fucking DeAndre Hopkins.
I think Tyreek Hill could make that catch, but the difference is nobody would have been close. He just would have been open.
Fair. I'm not a believer in Kyler at all. I think Trey Lance is a much better quarterback, and that's with 0 proof. I hate Kyler.
Listen,
I hate Kyler.
I'll say Kyler is better than Trey Lance today, but I also have 100% faith that the Cardinals usually start the year hot.
Yep.
But without Hopkins, I don't think they will.
No.
And then they'll sputter down the stretch like they usually do.
Yep.
And everyone's going to be like, okay, well, it doesn't work. I think Kyler won't be able to stay healthy.
Nope.
And I think that I don't know. There's something about him. I believe fully in his arm talent.
There's something about him. It's impossible to root for this guy.
I believe fully in his arm talent and his athleticism. He's too small to stay healthy, and the Cardinals will collapse like they always do.
Yeah, I don't hear anyone. I don't hear any
offensively,
Cardinals fan. No Cardinals fan is telling me he's elite.
It's like there's no offensively. There's not an elite weapon for the first several weeks. Is Hopkins suspension 4 or 6 games?
6.
Yeah. So there's no elite weapon for the first 6 games.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of these receivers they have, they're really good when they are all put down one slot.
Yeah,
if Hopkins is there,
I'd love to have AJ Green as my 4th wide receiver.
Yeah, or your 3rd, your 4th. I think Marquise Brown's a really good number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
But the problem is these are guys that are all going to be asked to do a little bit more than they should, and it's not going to work. And their O-line's not great still.
Their O-line is terrible.
And I think Cliff Kingsbury's not that creative. Like there are of the 4 coaches in the NFC West, he's 4.
Yeah.
And so we'll see, but then the offense doesn't give me much hope. But let's look at their defense real quick. J.J. Watt, Zach Allen, Marcus Golden, Isaiah Simmons, Zaven Collins, Devon Kennard, Byron Murphy, Marco Wilson, Antonio Hamilton, Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson. Budda Baker's really good.
I like Budda.
They have to replace Chandler Jones.
It
won't happen.
Oh yeah.
J.J. Watt is a good player who struggles with health and is probably best as your 2nd rushing option, but he's your 1st now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think the Cardinals are just like one slot out with every one of these positions.
Yeah.
Corner's a problem, but unlike the 49ers, their pass rush isn't going to make up for it. Their 2 linebackers are interesting. They're basically opposites in that Zaven Collins is a really big linebacker that is going to be really good against the run, but probably struggle against coverage. Isaiah Simmons is a freak athlete that is like this really good coverage and hybrid guy who, if you run straight at him, you can probably take advantage of him. Yeah. So it's just interesting. Like the Cardinals have like this really weird ragtag group that I don't think's going to mix when you don't have a Chandler Jones or a real like legitimate blue chip defender.
It's like losing Hopkins for the defense.
Yeah, I mean Budda Baker is one of the best safeties in the league, but safety, the entire purpose of safety is to clean everything up when it all breaks down in front of you.
That's why the 3rd overall pick wasn't Alex Hamilton or whatever it was, or Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton.
That dude is gonna thrive in Baltimore.
I hate it.
But I know, but I
hate that pick.
I'm just saying the Ravens. Leave it to the Ravens to have a great draft.
They did have a great draft.
The Cardinals just have like this super weird group of mismatched things, and they don't have the few essential pieces necessary
to hold it down,
to allow to be like the standard great pieces to allow the mismatched things to like slide into their roles. And if you're going to have one great player, you probably don't want it to be a safety because he's the furthest dude away from the ball. And if you bring him up, they just go the other way and
they'll throw it deep or they'll throw it deep.
Yeah, so I'm not that big on the Cardinals right now. I got the Cardinals. I think I will give their roster a C because they have a couple solid pieces, but not a lot of like. I mean, I'll give them a C basically because I think Kyler's good enough for a C.
I think that's fair. I think Kyler is. You don't have a question mark at quarterback. I know I'm a bit of a hater, but
you're a hater, but
I think
he is not the weakness of this team.
He's not the weakness. I wouldn't say he's one of the strengths right now.
I'd say he's a strength because there's not a lot of other strengths.
I'd say you don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to replace your quarterback. But if you were to if I were the Cardinals, I trade Kyler, I trade Hopkins, I keep Marquise.
Here's the issue with that.
I trade Buddha.
Okay, first
and I tank.
Here's what I'll do. Here's what I would say. I would not trade Kyler before I fire Cliff Kingsbury.
Fair.
I think.
Well, I'm not saying this year. I'm saying that eventually
they might have to reevaluate big time next offseason.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm giving them like a C-, and I say they're a pretender.
C-. I think they're a pretender, and this whole situation of the 6 weeks of no DeAndre is crazy.
It's gonna sink them.
Yeah, and Kyler's in a position right now where he's trying to get extended.
Yep.
So his their biggest strength is actively not interested in the team.
Yep. I think that the Cardinals usually start hot under Cliff Kingsbury and then stutter. And without Hopkins, they're not even going to be able to start hot.
Yeah. I think we're about to see the end of the Cardinals.
Yep. So I don't
this era of the Cardinals.
So that won't go well. Now, finally, very, very last team, Seattle.
Drew Lock.
Hi, Seattle. I have been looking forward to this.
His pants are a little tighter.
A lot tighter. It's a lot tighter. And you want to talk about questions at quarterback, dude? We don't know who's starting for them.
Yeah.
It is a legitimate question of, is it going to be Geno Smith or Drew Lock? Let me tell you right now.
Drew Lock.
Both of those options are going into this year as number 4 in this division.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Listen, you might like Drew Lock, but you would like him even more. Tell me right now, would you like Drew Lock more if you could flip him with Trey Lance and put him in San Fran? Because I'm telling you right now, you're not getting a particularly smart offensive team.
I take Drew Lock absolutely over Trey Lance 10 out of 10 times.
Not on the Seahawks.
Absolutely. I take a guy with 3 years of NFL experience. I take a guy who has shown absolute glimpses in the same kind of way that you say Trey Lance has. Cannon of an arm. He's shown he's athletic. Don't look at him like he's a pocket passer quarterback.
I don't.
Yeah, he's a hell of an athlete. Can get out and break out when he needs to, and get 10 yards on a scramble to keep the drive going.
Okay, but here's what I'm going to say. If
you're going to tell me Trey Lance is going to succeed because the rest of that team is
good,
I think Drew Lock succeeds in the same way.
Yes, but he's not going to do that on this team. But here's what I'm going to say. You have to stop talking about Drew Lock if Geno Smith beats him out.
Oh, don't worry. I just had this conversation with my good friend Deej. It's funny as hell. We were playing Madden earlier, and he literally goes, so if Drew Lock sucks in Seattle, are you going to be done? I'm like, bro, I'm so tired, yes.
Yep.
At that point.
If he can't beat out Geno Smith to start.
That'll be a bad look, and I will be the first to say, you know what, I guess it's not going to happen. But I'm still going to love the guy. I think he's a great guy to have in your locker room. I think, if anything, he's a backup quarterback in the league.
He can still be a backup. Totally.
If anything. Who has some upside every now and then.
Yep. He might be able to come in and win a game, if you need to. Oh, man, dude, okay. Here's the thing. If he's starting, and by the way, if I'm Seattle, I start him. Because for the same reason I would have started him if I was the Broncos. If he hits high the day, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Granted, his lows are lower than Teddy Bridgewater or Geno Smith's probably.
Sure. Whoa. Geno Smith Jets had some serious floor.
Dude, you're talking about the Jets here. When he came in for Seattle last year, he looked serviceable.
I don't think that's what Drew Lock is.
Well,
I think Drew Lock's a starting.
Well, Drew Lock lost out to serviceable last year.
Drew Lock got screwed over by his coaching staff. It came out it was confirmed by Sua Cravens that he did not get a chance to start because they didn't want him to succeed.
Probably. Okay, but
at least Vic Fangio didn't.
Okay, here's what I'm saying though. I don't think either way, quarterback is not going to be viewed as a strength of this roster, and that is certain going into the year.
I think as of right now, absolutely the common opinion and the logical opinion is they are screwed on quarterback.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think by the end of the season, they are like, holy fuck, we have a quarterback.
Okay, but here's the first of all, I don't think they will because I don't think they want that. I think that the Seahawks are a team that...
I think they'd love to pay a guy $20 million for 2 years of quarterback.
I think they'd love to get a rookie on a cheap deal.
I'm sure that they might.
But here, let me contextualize here, because even if you have faith in Drew Lock, would you rather have Drew Lock or Russell Wilson? Do not.
Bro, that's why I'm no longer a Broncos fan, because I'd rather have Drew Lock than Russell fucking Wilson.
Okay, so okay, fine. Then you're just unreasonable.
Granted, I know that's not logical.
Russell Wilson's better, but let me just get okay. So moving on here, the weapons on the Seahawks with Metcalf and Lockett. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, I think that
Kenneth Walker might be good. Rookie running back. Usually that translates. Nothing else on the Seahawks is particularly inspiring.
Yeah.
On that offense, that line's not good.
I like the Charles Cross pick. I think that's a good pick.
But again, you're banking on a rookie tackle.
You're banking on a rookie tackle on a bad line.
Rookie tackle on a bad line having to go against Aaron Donald and Nick Bosa.
Just please God, Charles, prove you can play left tackle competently and that it's very clearly situation, and then we don't have and then there's no issue.
Yeah.
But I think you take a guy in the first round, hoping that he can be a lockdown guy for you for your entire for his entire career. I think you have a chance with that with Charles Cross, but it's absolutely going to be a brutal first year for him.
And do you want to know why this gets even worse for him? For Drew Lock, presumably? Half my Seahawks argument at this point is just me trying to prepare him for what's going to happen.
I've been hurt too much at this point. Genuinely nothing shocks me.
Okay, cool. Then let me break down the Seahawks offense for you. They have a potentially good rookie running back, but a bad O-line, so the running game's not going to work. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are much better deep threat receivers, but the offensive line's not going to hold up, so that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Drew Lock is, at best, so far in his career, an inconsistent quarterback who's about to be put behind a bad O-line, so that's not going to work. The tight ends are nothing. We haven't seen anything from them. Noah Fant has potential. We haven't seen it yet.
Athletic freak.
Yep, but, again, there's a whole lot of other things.
I will let me really quickly for Noah Fant. I am a believer on Noah Fant, not as just this situation as a player. I honestly think he's athletically talented enough.
Okay.
And Pat Shurmur having him block as much as he did and do a bunch of flat routes and motion is absolutely what totally.
Do you want to know the last super athletic tight end to go to Seattle? Do you know who that was?
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
He was old as shit though. He was pretty much done with his career with the Saints already. And then
no, he was coming off a great year with the Saints. The Seahawks offense does not feature tight ends.
Granted, absolutely, but I'm saying Noah Fant, when he gets out of Seattle, will eventually have a career.
Okay, great. He's got to leave his. He's got to his third team. Okay,
well, granted, he's on this team strictly because it was an overpay for Russell Wilson.
Here's my last thought on the Seahawks offense in general.
Okay.
This is an offense that has not innovated in years. They have a defensive head coach, and the fundamental pieces that you need to have a good offense are not there.
Yeah.
You have when receiver is the best thing you have on your offense, it's not going to work generally because that's the frosting on a cake.
Yeah.
You need a lot of other things to be strong to make the most reliant position on an offense good.
You need a wide receiver for sure.
Yes.
However, it should not be the one thing you have.
Yes, and they have two good ones, but nothing else in that offense is competent.
Yeah. If honest to God, if I'm Seattle, I'm trading Tyler Lockett for a line help. And I think I'm moving on because I think I hold on to DK.
I hold on to DK because he's too young.
He's too young.
And he wants to be there.
And he's sick. And he's a fucking...
And he's sick, dude.
He's sick, dude. He's a fucking baller.
Honestly, I'll say that draft when he came out, I was very mad when he was drafted because I'd wanted us to draft him really badly.
A lot of people wanted him, and I don't blame them. But I genuinely... I love the DK. I love DK being on this. I love DK as a player. Having him on your roster is a must. I would honestly move on from Tyler Lockett and try to get a left guard or something. My big plan is genuinely just to... Do I think they're a playoff team in a shitty NFC?
Nope.
Not even close.
They're not even close to that.
No, not even remotely close to a wild.
So I don't know why you think that they're going to discover they have a quarterback when literally nothing else on that offense is going to function.
Because they have a fucking quarterback in Drew Lock is what I'm fucking saying here. Drew Lock's the fucking man. I don't have to fucking keep saying this. Like, he's going to fucking prove it this fucking year on a bad team with no fucking help. He's going to prove that he can fucking slice up a fucking defense when he needs to. And absolutely can fucking tear up a fucking team. I think he's in a shitty position, and this is one more reason why I'm pissed at the Broncos is because they sent him to die. They sent him to a team that is garbage right now and has nothing going for it besides DK fucking Metcalf. But holy fucking shit, that was my favorite fucking quarterback. I was the man. He was the man. I love that fucking guy. So for them to literally be like, not only are we gonna get rid of the quarterback you fucking completely love, we're gonna send him to go fucking get his career killed even more after we fucking put a nail in it.
Guess what, guys? Garbage merchandise for a garbage franchise. You earned it, guys. And I'm really, really excited to see you live up to it. It's going to be good. But moving on from their trash offense, we're going to now move on to their defense.
God, I'm so sorry about it, Drew Lock. You got fucking...
Defensive end. I'm just going to go through it. And
for it.
You tell me the names that you get excited about, okay?
Okay.
Shelby Harris. Puna Ford.
I get excited about Shelby Harris.
No, you don't. Shelby Harris, Puna Ford, Uchenna Nwosu.
I get excited about Uchenna Nwosu. Fight on.
Jordan Brooks, Cody Barton, Darrell Taylor.
I get excited because his last name's Taylor.
There you go. Trey Brown, Sidney Jones, Justin Coleman, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs. First of all, that's way too much money going to the safety position.
Yeah, that is a lot of money, and for 0 picks from Jamal Adams, I'm upset.
Yeah.
If I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm like, fuck.
If I'm a Seahawks fan, God forbid. Even I'm like, you know what? We probably should have let Quandre Diggs walk.
I think Quandre Diggs probably should have left, 100%.
Well, I mean, he shouldn't have left. They gave him a big deal, like a lot of money. But I'm just saying, like, safety. If you have one good safety, and like one solid one, I guess you're probably fine. Like, safety, like, again, just by the nature of the position,
you just need some athletes.
It is the last group that's supposed to impact stuff. Jamal Adams plays a little different because they bring him up closer, more like a linebacker.
They use him for runs.
But generally, safety is like, if you have a safety that just doesn't get burnt,
you're good.
You're generally okay. And they've now spent a ton of money on 2 safeties.
Both those guys got to go.
I don't think you can lose Jamal Adams yet. You put too much in.
You put too much in, but I think I'm the type of person.
Hey Jamal, you went to the Seahawks to be a part of a contender, right? How does it feel to be a part of the Jets West?
Yeah, this is awful. Like, this entire defense is fucking terrible.
Listen, you can be excited about Shelby Harris. Let's not pretend that this is a game-changing guy.
No.
You can be a fan of Uchenna Nwosu.
I'm a fan of Uchenna Nwosu.
Not a game changer.
Fight on. I'm a fan of Shelby Harris. I think he's great for what he's done for his career. It sucks that we literally just signed him to an extension, and then fucking 1 year later we trade him. It's like, bro, he's like, I finally did it. I got an extension. He's been doing 1 year contracts his whole fucking career. Fucking plays great for Denver. He, every Denver fan will know how many passes he's swatted down. He is. I love him as a force on the defense. I love him as a guy in your locker room. This is not a game-changing pick for him to be starting at defensive end.
So
kind of wild.
So when he lines up against like Trent Williams,
it's over for Trent Williams.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
No, I love Shelby. I really do. I think that's for the players that they picked from Denver in that trade, genuinely they picked producers. But they picked producers on a fucking roster that has nobody.
They picked
they can't produce.
Baffling players. I would have demanded
no offense, Drew Lock and Shelby Harris, of all those 3 people that Denver was willing to probably give up because Denver wanted to secure.
They would have been willing to give up more. I think that they would have been willing to give up. I would have
loved to see Denver screw themselves more.
I would have, if I was Denver, I would have tried to keep Noah Fant.
I would have kept Noah Fant.
I would have been willing to trade different defensive pieces, though.
Who do you give up on that defense, then? You give up Bradley Chubb?
Yeah.
I give up Bradley Chubb.
I would have given up Bradley Chubb.
I give up Bradley Chubb.
I would have. Yeah, I think that would have been a totally fair trade. You give up Bradley Chubb, you keep Noah Fant.
Your offense is just stacked.
There's only a few pieces on that. Honestly, I'm not even sure if there was a piece on that team that if it secured you, Russell Wilson, you say no for. Like,
I don't make that trade at any time in my lifetime.
I do, because if you don't, everybody is screwed because the Broncos are just spinning the wheels again. But getting off the Broncos again.
God, I keep doing
but if you want to talk about like replacing players, it's not particularly. I imagine if you're a Seahawks fan, it's not particularly inspiring to see Russell leave and Drew Lock come back. It's not particularly inspiring to see Bobby Wagner leave and see Cody Barton.
Yep.
Replacing him.
Yep.
I think that you're probably hoping Jordan Brooks steps up as a former first round pick to like. He's not going to be Bobby Wagner, but and then you just look everywhere. They're not going to have a pass rush.
Yeah.
They don't have particularly great linebackers.
No.
This
might be one of the worst off.
They don't have. They're strong at safety. Congrats, guys. I mean, running back's honestly a position of strength with Kenneth Walker and Rashad Penny. But of all the positions on offense to be strong at, it's like great. We're strong at all of the completely dependent positions on everything else.
Yeah.
So again, allow me to set the stage for Drew Lock for you.
Fuck. Poor guy.
You have a bad line.
Poor guy.
You have good backs, but a bad line, so the running game's not going to be great. DK and Lockett, that is good. I'll give you that. That's good.
That's great.
You have Noah Fant, but this is not a tight end's offense.
Yeah.
Throw it all together with the fact that defense will not stop a nosebleed.
Yeah.
So you're going to be from behind. You're going to be with an inconsistent quarterback. And so basically what this means is this is going to be one of my favorite Seahawks seasons in such a long time. I'm so excited. Oh, my God. So let me get it out of the way. The roster is an F+. The plus comes from those wide receivers. And they are an absolute pretender. And like I said, you guys are trash. You guys are absolute trash, and I love it.
Fair enough. I give him a D. I will be a little bit nicer than you.
I hate you guys.
I get it 100%. Can't stand I'm very big on rivalries, so this is actually very heartwarming for me. Love to see it.
I'm big on them too, and I'm gonna dance on your goddamn green and blue graves. Ugly bastards.
I think Drew Lock wins 4 games. I think the entire season is not Drew Lock's fault. I think Drew Lock pulls together a team of nobody and puts up 4 wins that nobody expected.
Do you know what I really hope happens? I hope Pete Carroll gets his ass fired at the end of this.
He might just retire.
Fuck it. Bye, Pete.
He might fucking retire, to be completely honest with you.
He's gonna quit.
Yeah,
You've never won anything except when Russell Wilson was there in the NFL. Don't play.
And to be completely honest, looking at this roster, it just doesn't excite me. I think I give them the D+ because I think they had a sneaky good draft. I think they picked the right pieces for depth that they needed to.
They need starters.
Well, yes, but they're developing these guys to eventually be starters, is what I'm saying. I like the Charles Cross pick. I think that first things first, if you secured your blind side, whoever the quarterback is in the next 5 years, I don't care who it is, if you have a blind side tackle who is a complete bookend and you don't have to worry about the blind side anymore, great pick already. Great pick. I'll give it to you. I like Tyler Lockett. I like DK Metcalf. I think
only thing I love on this roster.
Only thing I really love on this roster. Exactly. I think both of them are. I think DK is a top 5 wide receiver. Maybe top 7. Though.
I don't think he's top 5 right now. I think he's too limited.
We did top 5 wide receiver. I did not put him in my top 5. So
I think he's too. I think he's a physical freak, but he needs to if he can run the whole route tree at some point effectively.
Yeah.
Then he is. But I've got to see more because right now. He disappeared for long stretches last year as soon as they couldn't throw it deep.
Well, yeah. I think absolutely that's kind of his big thing is DK's got to go deep.
Yeah, look at that line, though.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen here. As a Bengals fan, I can tell you all about
Not to mention Drew Lock's going to miss you by 20 yards, bro.
Drew Lock's a good quarterback. I don't know what the fuck you're telling me, bro. But anyways, D-. I moved it down 1. Not just the D. D-. Good luck.
Oh, Seattle.
Good luck. Sorry, Tristan. I know you weren't looking forward to this. My buddy Tristan's a diehard Seattle fan.
Yeah.
He's gonna hate this episode.
Hey, Tristan. Guess what? Fuck you, buddy. That's
my boy.
I don't give a shit. I hate this team with such a passion. Like, part of me wants to give this roster an A for my personal satisfaction that I'm going to get watching this team.
Fair. For enjoyment purposes?
Oh,
Viewing pleasure?
Like, the offseason for the Seahawks is an A+ to me. This is exactly what I needed from them. And, oh, God, objectively, you guys are not good. But
this is a rough-ass roster.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's going to be a fun season.
I'm saying that's good for me. I'm leaving this on a positive note with the Seahawks being put back in their lane. You guys lost your way for about 10 years there, and it's time to go back to being irrelevant and nobody thinking about you being tucked away in the Pacific Northwest. Welcome back to being the doormat of the division, you sad chickens.
Wow.
Bye.